Some people, it seems, just don't learn. Or at least there's a new lesson to be learned here. Last week, we were just talking about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez getting a divorce. And in the middle of that was another story that I didn't want to mix with it, so I didn't. Judge Mathis, well, his wife has decided after 4 decades, 39 years, but 4 decades of marriage. After 4 decades, she's decided that she's going to re-enter the sexual marketplace and leave him standing on the roadside for pickup. How is Judge Mathis taking it? Well, breaking news. Judge Mathis is vowing as of a few hours ago that, according to TMZ, I'm fighting to win my wife back. Now, you know this doesn't end well.
Hey, Judge Mathis, how are you today, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I want to ask...
I'm not good, rather. It's the worst days of my life. How about that?
Mistake number 1, never let him see you sweat. Never let him see you sweat. You think he's going to get into the begging thing, y'all. Say, how you doing? Well, I'm doing good. Oh, wait a minute. We're doing my life right here. Baby, please, baby, please. Okay, you know where this is going.
Hey, Judge Mathis, how are you today, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I want to ask...
I'm not good, rather. It's the worst days of my life. How about that?
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I wanted to ask you, with news of the separation, how are you holding up?
Not holding up very well. I would say the other man, maybe I'll be an example for other men, cautionary tale.
You sure are.
Neglect your wife. See how me at the airport now? I'll be an example for other men, cautionary tale. Don't neglect your wife. See how me at the airport now, flying out, as I have for 40 or for 25 years. My wife has been third. Serving the community, taping my show, having fun with friends. That's what happens, guys. Never be too busy or never have too much fun beyond your wife.
So I do want to ask, the date of separation is listed.
Never be too busy and never have too much fun beyond your wife. What? Now, you all tell me, when's the last time you ever heard a female say, ladies, don't neglect your man and don't never have too much fun beyond your man? When's the last time you ever heard a female say those words? When's the last time you had the female say, there, don't never have more fun than too much fun beyond your husband now. Don't do that, Deb. You make sure you put him first. So just to show he don't know a damn thing. He doesn't know anything. He thinks he's actually helping his situation by placating himself.
Serving the community, taping my show, having fun with friends. That's what happens, guys. Never be too busy or never have too much fun beyond your wife.
So I do want to ask, the date of separation is listed back to July 17th. Has this been coming?
Has this been coming for a while?
For some time now, or was it
fun beyond your wife?
So I do want to ask, the date of separation is listed back to July 17th. Has this been coming for some time now, or was it something out the blue?
Well, ever since we started taping here in LA, I committed to staying home more and making my wife more of a priority. But as you see, I haven't. I'm still here on the road doing the same thing. And in terms of going out into another city. But I was gone for 3 weeks. That's what July 17th meant.
Would you say you two are in a good place right now, or able to maintain a friendship?
Oh yeah, we're still in the same house and we're maintaining a friendship. And I'm trying to get my wife back.
Nigga, please.
We still in the same house and we maintain a friendship. See, tonight's going to be a night I need my married fellas and my divorced fellas to call up and explain, by the way, how many of you divorced fellas, this is where you were. I've never been married, but I've seen a whole bunch of married dudes out here, and this is some of the stuff they go through. You in the house, you paying the bills, you got the female there, and y'all are roommates? We maintaining our friendship. We're maintaining our friendship. 4 decades later, we're maintaining our friendship. We still in the same house. We maintaining our friendship. I'm not trying to kick a man while he's down, even though he's right there by my foot. But I want you to think about that for a few. Listen to what he's saying here. He's literally telling you, yeah, we still in that same. Everything is the same, except, she ain't doing no wifely stuff for me. We maintaining our friendship. Does that mean, so is she cooking, cleaning, and all the stuff she been doing up to this point? Or you just sitting there in the house, now you got to take care of all that yourself. And okay, I ain't going to make her do nothing right now. I ain't going to insist her. I ain't going to put no pressure on this. There's a whole bunch of you fellas in here that you've been married, and when you were getting divorced, you sitting there in the house and whatnot thinking to yourself that if you're just given enough time, you're going to be able to lower yourself enough and reel her back in. A whole bunch of you fellas, once you got divorced, you thought you were going to ease it back over instead of cutting your losses and realizing, hey, dude, once a female goes public like this, and I'm going to come back to this in a few moments. Once she goes public like that, that's a declaration of war. And you don't get it. Especially if you finally woke up and realized this has actually been some time coming. Yeah, dude, this ain't a joke now.
I have to show her that, though. Hopefully, we're still in the same house and we're maintaining a friendship. And I'm trying to get my wife back. I have to show her that, though. Hopefully I can show her while we're there together before, and hopefully she doesn't complete the process. But I'm changing in hopes that she will.
Every man out there who's been around the block a few times and knows the drill. Every married man, every divorced man, you know full well what you just heard was irrational. I'm hoping that I can show her that I've changed. Changed what? Changed what? You've been married for 4 damn decades, bruh, being who you are. If who you are is a negative, what the hell she been doing for 4 decades? Now, all of a sudden, everything that kept her there for 4 decades, all of a sudden that's a negative? This is literally what he's telling you. Trying to prostrate himself. Look it up. Not prostate, people. He thinks by sitting up here, lowering himself and groveling, and talking about how he needs to change, and he hopes that if he changes, she will. Bruh, she don't see anything wrong with what she's doing. Furthermore, she's not really interested in what you doing like that because, this has been coming for a minute. You're just the sucker didn't see it.
Sure, while we're there together before, and hopefully she doesn't complete. I have to show her that, though. Hopefully I can show her while we're there together before, and hopefully she doesn't complete the process. But I'm changing in hopes that she will. I'm going to get my wife back. How about that?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to eliminate all them rumors, too, that it's something about a baby or even me molesting a child. It's none of that. I've just told you what it is.
There were also, kind of some rumors of any infidelity. Did you want to clear that up at all? You say it's solely neglect.
Well, neglect can create suspicion, certainly. And if you're gone as much as I am, you have every right to suspect. You go to work, you go serve in the community around the country, then you go with your guys to sporting events around the country, you go to other events except without your wife hanging with you and enjoying herself with you. And so, yeah, she would have a right to suspect infidelity.
But there was none of that going on.
That's not the purpose.
He thinks he's helping himself. Fellas, understand something right now. It can seem like the smart thing to do, but you don't ever diminish your value. You don't do that. Women don't value you when you go out there talking about how lower your value is. They don't sit up here and think that's a great thing when you go out and start publicly declaring your value is lower. But then again, he's had some practice at this. Now, this has been coming for a while, just not the way that most of you might have thought. You see, if you've been listening to me here with the Black Book, I'm just letting you know right now, definitely the cauldron gonna be bubbling all night tonight. The cauldron's gonna be bubbling all night tonight. Reading to you from the Black Book. What have I told you all about these old niggas? What? And these pension pimps. Damn. We got to talk about the pension pimping tonight. And the going into what happens when a man ends up in the discount bin. We just talked about this last week here, but we're going to run around tonight. When you talk about the discount bin, we're going to talk about how a man ends up in the discount bin and that his money and his income will not save him. We're going to talk about that tonight. Let me remind you of something. Let me tell you the reason why his wife started tiptoeing towards the door, because many of you may not be aware of this or may not remember it, but this was just last year. Damn! If you will turn your eyes toward the screen, this was just last year, Variety Magazine. Do you see the date on this article? Do you see the date on this article? February of last year, Warner Brothers announced that they were canceling his show. After 2 decades, they're canceling him. I'll be damned. Soon as they do that, a year later, his wife is filing papers. Tom Brady syndrome, anybody? Michael Jordan syndrome, anybody? Sound familiar? Just as soon as that sunset comes into sight, just as soon as it looks like the money train is getting ready to pull into the station, and like, okay, I done played nice as long as I need to. Let me go ahead and extract that bag off of you. Now, he signed up with Byron Allen's little snowball, puffball, little studio thing. Folks have nothing but bad things to say about it. So he got a little old one, Byron Allen's little old bootleg shows. I think everybody on there is an actor now. It's not even real people. So these are reenactments. So he done fell all the way off. I guess he figured if he got back on TV, that'd be enough. It's not enough. That's it. The game is over. The game is over. So what he is refusing to accept is that there's a problem, Judge Mathis. You see, the problem is that your woman don't really like you. What? This is going to be a tough thing for a lot of fellas to accept. But fellas, when you start talking about retiring and taking it easy and all the little garbage right there, you are decimating your value. I've said this here before. I got to remind you all again. Most of you fellas in here, particularly you married ones, there's a reason why we tell you, by the way, you're the one that your woman settled for. For most men, 80% of men, you're just the guy that she settled for. You're not the one that she's got burning passion for. You're not the one that she would fight over. You're not the one that she would crash out over. That was the other dude. That was the dude before you. She would have crashed all the hell the way out for him. Not you. You're Mr. Provider. That's you. You're there to make sure that she doesn't die of starvation or exposure. And you've let the fact that she's been married to you deceive you into thinking that she actually likes you. No, she likes not having to work or having that situation, but if she could separate it from you, she would. if she could separate it from you, she would do so. So for most of you fellas out here, particularly the married ones right there, if you've been married long enough, you already know, your woman don't want you around like that. What? Soon as you start talking about retiring, she starts talking about, by the way, don't you need to go to work? Don't you need to be productive? Don't you need to take up a new hobby? Don't you need to get a part-time job? She's happy to see your ass go out to work, out the door. She talks about her me time. Bruh, the fella who she was laying up with at the Holiday Inn, she didn't want no me time. She wanted him time. Now she's with you and everything is me time. And she's standing on it. So for most of you married fellas in here, let me go ahead and break your heart open tonight here. Your women don't like you like that. They don't want you around like that. They're okay with you being around for an hour or two a day, and then she needs you gone. And that's just reality. I know you don't like hearing that. I know when you sit there and take a look at your marriage for a few moments, you realize, damn, that ain't really what it is. Yeah, that's really what it is. She's not passionate about you. She's got a life, and she needs to deceive you into thinking that she's passionate about that. No, she just wants some stability, but stability does not mean passion. That's not what it means. She just needs you to believe that. And in Judge Mathis's case, yeah, them hooks been in for a minute. He made all kinds of mistakes. Let me go ahead and take you back, way back into time. Because you see, if you look and you go and look these things up, entertainment, a couple of years ago, they did this thing where they were talking to Judge Mathis's wife about how is it that you keep passion in the marriage. This was 2 years ago now. Oh, this didn't age well at all. But they talking to her. By the way, you talking about the woman, what, in her 60s? Always trying to show some cleavage and some thigh.
Auntie, chill.
That's another thing. This woman is constantly trying to show some cleavage and some thigh. Decades out the game, but to this day is still trying to see if somebody wants them AARP cleavage hanging around. That's his woman, though, with her mom sitting right there. I want you all to hear what she had to say here. I want you to hear this.
COVID, we decided to have my parents live with us.
I tell people.
You got that?
During COVID, we decided to have my parents live with us.
I tell people regularly that I eternally appreciate y'all took a chance on a hoodlum.
I was a little leery.
My mother told me, y'all got Linda going up to that college, and she ain't messing with nothing but a crook.
I ain't never have a father. In the projects in Detroit, we didn't have many fathers in households. Everything I know about fatherhood, I learned it from you. I just followed his mentorship.
He thinks he's being complimentary. He thinks he is. No, y'all heard what he just said there, and he really thinks that he is increasing his value and his esteem in the situation in the family, and he's just decimating it and doesn't even get it. Not at all.
Everything I know about fatherhood, I learned it from you. I just followed his mentorship. They gave me a room that I could stay in their house, because by that time my mom died my first couple months in college. And so for that, the least.
That's what they doing there. YouTube is trying to give me some copyright warnings here, so I can't play too much. That we didn't even get 45 seconds into it. Now, you heard her mama say that my daughter going up to them college, you ain't gonna meet nothing but a hoodlum. And that was the dude that she fell in love with. Damn! Did y'all get that? That's the dude she fell in love with. He talking about, oh, I was in the housing projects and this, that, and the other. Bro, that's the fella, that's the dude she went for. Let me go ahead and see if I can turn that back up again here. Just in case y'all missed it. I think I have my thing off. But that's the dude she went for. While you sitting up here talking down on it, bruh, that's what she went for.
And she ain't messing with nothing but a crook. My mother told me, y'all got Linda going up to the college, and she ain't messing with nothing but a crook.
They sitting there laughing about it all these decades later, I guess. But by the way, hey, baby, your daughter was digging one of them thugs. She was digging that crook energy. That's what your daughter was going for. When she was trying to make a permanent commitment, that's what your daughter was digging. So I'll let that speak about the child rearing at the household and how she was raised. But by the way, if that was the situation, that's what your daughter was digging. I just thought I would go ahead and put it out there. That's what your daughter was digging. So Judge Mathis hears that, and then he says something that, fellas, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it can't work. He says something that completely decimates his value and puts all the value on her side of the table. Do you get that? When he tells her that he didn't have a father and everything he learned about manhood, he learned from her father. Let me explain to you the first mistake there. A woman is going to have an extremely difficult time. Women don't really worship their daddies like that, you know? They don't really worship their daddies like that. So when you got somebody sitting here and you're lowering yourself below the man who raised her, you're supposed to be the head of your household. You're supposed to be at the top of the food chain. And you're going out of your way to make yourself subservient to her father. So in other words, there is a masculine figure that is above you. Something that you probably would not have said 30 years ago when you met her. You wouldn't have said that then, but you're saying it now, thinking that you're increasing your value. I'm sorry, 45, 50 years ago when you met her. Instead of you making it clear that you are at the top of the food chain, that they living in your house now. What? How much more do you have to do before it is a given and it is without question that you're the top of the food chain? They literally just started by saying, by the way, they living in my house now. It's one thing if you was staying with them for a few months when you was young and couldn't get your feet up on your day, they senior citizens now, so I'll be damned, he taking care of all of them. And yet, look at how you're phrasing this. And they're talking to you in front of cameras in that dismissive way. And you think that this is a game? In case he didn't notice, see, here's the real problem with old Judge Mathis here. And you figure a fella his age would be smarter than this. Dude, her whole damn family is sitting at the damn table. They sitting at the table and you sitting there laughing. That's her family. All sitting there having jokes at your expense. Ain't nobody at that table represents your genealogy. Her mother, her father, and their daughter, and 75% of that table is her bloodline. 75% of that table is looking out for her. And you've deceived yourself into thinking that after knowing them for 4 or 5 decades that we family and they looking out for you. And they're literally all sitting around the table making jokes about you at your expense. And you sitting there yucking it up. Somebody said red table talk. Who do you think they give these television contracts to? Who do you think they're giving these television contracts to? What do you think that's supposed to be about? What do you think that's going to be about? What do you think? As a man, you cannot afford to do that. You can't afford to do that as a man. See, what happens here is a lot of these fellas sit up here and don't realize, bruh, you are the stable guy that her family felt safe having around. You're just the stable guy that somebody felt safe leaving her around you. When they use all these dismissive phrases, love come later. Fellas, understand something. You getting pimped when a female or her family or anybody else tells you love comes later. Do you realize what an insult it is? Love come later. Yeah, heaven, but the rent come now. What? Love come later, but the car note come today.
And deal with it, nigga.
They sitting up here telling you love will come later. You're expected to take responsibility and step in front of bullets today, but don't worry about it. Love can come later. Whole bunch of fellas sitting up here done gone down the aisle. You taking out mortgages, you taking out car notes, college tuition, medical bills, whole damn 9 yards. Your life ain't never been the same with folk telling you love gonna come later. I got to read your mail. I got to read the mail. Got to. Because ain't nobody else gonna give it to you like that. I'm telling you what happened. I'm telling you what happened because it's very obvious. When she met him, he was a young man who had potential. And before she could find a better horse to get on, I'll be damned, his career took off. See, here's the thing about it here. When we talk about that last train, here's the way it goes. What happens here is a female ain't really on the train. Ladies, I got to read the mail right quick. She ain't really on the train. She's kind of like running beside the train. She want to make sure, wait a minute, if there's not a better train behind it, let me make sure I keep up with this one right quick. Oh, wait a minute, I don't see another one. Oh, I'm running out of ramp now. Oh, let me grab on. Okay, let me grab on and see if I'll take this one on around the route. I'll take this on around the route here and see if we got to come back. There's a whole bunch of fellas who don't understand. The only reason you were able to get married is because there wasn't a better option at the time when it looked like you were leaving the station. And if the train really starts taking off and really starts getting fast, your professional accomplishments have taken off faster than your personal ones. So you're still kind of awkward and geeky and don't have no swag or this, that, and the other, and she's not really aroused by you. But your professional life done took off. Your professional life done took off. So she's like, oh man. She's like, oh man, none of them other dudes I was laying up with was able to get the bag and able to get the status like you did. So she's like, I'll be damned. Television contracts and oh man. You think it's not that serious? Let me show you how serious it really is. You take a look at that right there. This is from just last year. Still on her Instagram, as a matter of fact, she playing serious mind games. Still got it on their Instagram. They still got their pictures on each other's Instagrams right now. He doesn't understand what it means. By the way, this is from July of last year. There she is with Samuel L. Jackson, Magic Johnson. I don't know who the other fellow was. You take a look at that. all them fellas that she was in college with and all them dudes, they weren't gonna put her on a boat with certified legends and superstars. They couldn't do that. So she ain't got to like you. She just got to like hanging out with them. Jason, you don't know them right there. What you talking about them? You always say them like that. You making assumptions. You making assumptions. Let me talk. You making assumptions about their marriage here. It could be true love. You always gonna go, oh, there your wife, Phil. There she is again. What? Oh, let me go ahead and take down the visualizer thing so y'all can see, by the way, throwing some thigh over there on Smokey's side of the table. Damn. Yeah, she throwing a little thigh up there, but the thigh is out on Smokey's side of the table. Well, she ready for her AARP card, but she wearing a skin-tight dress. And she kind of bowed up on Smokey's side of the table. She over there bowed up on Smokey Robinson's side of the table. Just thought I'd show that to y'all. Oh, Jason's just making things up, right? I'm just overreaching, right? I'm just overinterpreting, right? In the chat room, Crystal B, I'm so glad you said that because chronology is very important. I'm going to have you call up as soon as I open up Zoom, so I'm very glad you said that. So, Crystal, we'll put your information to the side. We'll have you call up as soon as I open up Zoom because, oh, quite right. I was waiting for somebody to say that. Chronology is very important. Oh, yes, it is. Don't worry, we're going to get to that. And you and me will get to talk about that since you brought up the chronology of it. I'm very glad you did. I'll be very happy to go ahead and go into that with you. But by the way, if she was not married to Judge Mathis, she would be out there in the 15th row in Vegas yelling with the rest of the old school moms and grandmamas, hoping that Smokey Robinson looks in her direction one time. She would not be sitting up there talking about Smokey Robinson, one of their friends. She wouldn't be doing that. Anything else? Oh, for sure, Sugar Ray. Damn. Oh, man, it looks like a 1978 reunion. I'll be damned. So Jason is just reaching, right? Okay, I don't have any facts here. Jason, you making assumptions, right? Making assumptions, right? Oh, well, Jason, that was just one picture. Okay, that was just two pictures. Okay, that was just three pictures. Okay, so it's just all assumptions, right? She loving that life. She doesn't have an opportunity. Ain't nobody else gonna provide these kind of connections. She goes from thinking about these people to being around them. You take a look at it right here. This is the picture he took with her. Now, this is the picture she got with her husband. This is the picture she got with Sugar Ray. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying take a look at Sugar Ray's face position and then take a look at the husband's. Just saying. Just saying. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay. No, I'm just reaching, right? There's always some dumbass and you reaching. Throw out a whole phone book full of evidence. That don't mean nothing right there. Okay. All right. Remember, we're reaching now, right? This is him just a couple months ago here, boy. He thought he was doing it big, too. He thought he was all the way in and just didn't see it. Didn't see it, but then again, they never do because here's the problem for old Judge Mathis. This is a cautionary tale for everyone out there, especially the men out there. Fellas, don't let yourselves become deceived into not realizing where your value actually comes from. If you know that your value really comes from your productivity, then you need to understand that that's where your value comes from. Your ability. It's because he rose to the level that he was at that he's been able to get into the rooms he's in, talk to the people he talks to, associate with the folk he associates with. Being a judge didn't do that. Being a television personality did. His wife is nobody. I'm not being disrespectful. His wife is no one. Nobody knows her. Hell, none of us knew who she was till she filed for divorce. Damn! None of us knew who she was. And nobody else did except him. She was the most important person in the world to him, but nobody else. He literally could have gone on each of them cruises with a new female. Nobody would have remembered. Nobody would have known the difference. So you see, he was a complete upgrade of her life. There's no other man who could have confirmed for her that she is hot as she thinks she is or that she tells herself that she is. No other man could have put her next to these legends' wives so that she could fantasize that she was on their level. Let's please understand that's the reality. Every female wants to believe that she could compete with Beyonce. Use a damn lie.
Nigga, please.
He gave her the ability to at least plausibly fantasize that she's on the level of these other women. That's what she stayed for. There's not another man that could do that. Some men don't understand when your utility to a woman is not you, it's the experiences she can get being with you. And if she had another option, she would jump on that. But you, amazingly, it was just unpredictably, you were able to outperform all these other people in this one area of life. You radically, dramatically outperformed all the other options. And so it was just so undeniable she had to stick around for that. And she spent decades enjoying the exposure to that, but she don't really feel you like that. And just as soon as the folk you work for made it clear that, yeah, it's time to go ahead and ship you off, she's like, okay, I still think I look good enough to get a Smokey Robinson. That's what she's telling herself. I look good enough to get a Smokey Robinson. The issue here is that Judge Mathis's productivity, what he was doing that kept him there, the unpredictability, the mechanism that disarms hypergamy, uncertainty. Maybe there's another deal coming. Maybe there's another big deal coming. Maybe there's another one coming here. Now it's clear, no, there won't be another one coming. We've reached the end of the line. And she's like, well, I guess this train has taken us as far as it's gonna go. If you all agree that that's the calculus that she's made, give me the money bag emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's almost 3,000 people in here live in just the first 30 minutes. But if you all agree that that's the most likely answer, now that the show's been canceled and it looks like the end of his career is now in sight, and after being married to him for almost 4 decades, she now gets the resources. Without him, she can go on all these cruises, all those celebrities. She's going to tell herself that she still got access to all of them. She can go hang with them. She going to be the little weird looking divorced one, but she going to hang with them. Jason, how you know what you saying is right? How you know what you saying is correct? Let me explain to you something here, Debbie dumbass. Take a look at that picture up there right now. You take a look at Magic with Cookie. You take a look at Samuel L. Jackson. You take a look at Judge Mathis. Everybody else, I don't know who the fella is in the purple. Y'all, I don't know who that is. Magic and Samuel L. Jackson are still working. What? Let me go ahead and lay that on you. Magic and Samuel L. Jackson are still working. Magic is still cutting deals. Magic is still moving paper. Magic is still willing and dealing. Magic is still sitting in the room with billionaires. Samuel L. Jackson is still working. He's still pushing. He's still got his name in lights. He's still got another movie premiere, another TV show. He's still out here hustling. He's still making it happen. He ain't getting put out to pasture. He's still competing at the topmost levels. He's still doing it. Age ain't slowed him down. He's still in the middle of the game. He's still throwing elbows. He's still competing with cats half his age. He's still making it happen. He's not a pension pimp. He ain't retired. He's on the cruise ship because he's bored. He's not on the cruise ship because this is the end of the line. Judge Mathis, on the other hand, he's the only one in this picture I can identify who's not still out there competing at the topmost level. These other fellas look like they still in the game. He looked like the old dude with the Bootsy Collins glasses on, and bruh, no. He doesn't get it. He didn't get it because he can't afford to. Very, very unsettling. Can't afford to get it. 4 decades he's been putting in there. I want to go to their Instagram in just a minute here, but I want to go back to this video. I want to go back to this because I want y'all to see what he was saying here. He thought he was doing himself some favors, and I want y'all to see what he was saying. For those of you joining us late, when he talked to TMZ, and he telling them he gonna get his wife back.
Or even me molesting a child. It's none of them here on the road. Doing this since we started taping here in LA, I committed to staying home more and making my wife more of a priority. But as you see, I haven't. I'm still here on the road doing the same thing. And in terms of going out into another city. But I was gone for 3 weeks. That's what July 17th meant.
Would you say you two are in a good place right now, or able to maintain a friendship?
Oh yeah, we're still in the same house and we're maintaining a friendship. And I'm trying to get my wife back. I have to show her that though. Hopefully I can show her while we're there together before, and hopefully she doesn't complete the process.
Okay, let me explain to you all some of the logical fallacies that apparently he is unaware of. Dude, you've been doing this now for 30 years. She been sitting there soaking it up and loving it for 30 years. She didn't have a problem 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. She ain't had a problem with you doing what you got to do to be Judge Mathis. It is all of this globe trotting and getting out here and getting it. And going from coast to coast and around the world. It's all, you can't get the bag being at home. You can't get her. You ain't gonna meet Smokey Robinson sitting at home. You ain't gonna meet Samuel L. Jackson sitting at the house. You're not gonna get to rub elbows with Magic Johnson sitting at the crib with her. And she knows that. She knows that it's all this work you done did that got you into the position that you in, that has gotten her where she is. So how you gonna look up 4 decades later and all of a sudden say, oh, everything that I did that got her where she is, that's wrong now? You're saying I'm doing the same thing that got me where I am. Now all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's wrong? It's wrong now? How did it suddenly become wrong? She ain't been complaining all this time. She been loving it all this time. She hasn't been complaining, I wish you would just stay a simple small town judge, all that being a celebrity. I don't like them cruise ships, and I don't like seeing Smokey Robinson, and I don't like hanging out with them celebrities. Oh, really? If y'all think that's true, by the way, okay. By the way, this they son. This is their son, the little fella here. This is the husband, I guess. This is their son with his crochet jacket on. So, all right. Leave that where it's at. You take a look at where she goes. She stands in a group of women. She got her main character energy on. I'm Judge Mathis's wife. She can't say that anywhere else. There's nowhere she can go and be able to flex like that. Who's going to invite her to any of this without him? Where does it happen? When does it occur? When? Who brings her out? Who invites her without him? Don't tell me she don't love it. This is them with Magic and his wife again. Okay, she don't love it, and you can't tear her away from it. She doesn't like it. Every time you turn around, she don't like it? Really? Look like she's loving it to me. Like McDonald's. She looks like she's loving it to me. Oh, bring out the handbags, and every time you look, she's wearing something tight as it can be on her. Okay, bruh. Okay. Every time you turn around, there she is. All right. No, this is just me. This is just me now. This is just me. Okay, we hanging out with these folks here. All right. Looking like she loving it to me. Where was she going to be without dude? Tell me how she gets here without Mathis. She looked pretty damn happy on the cruise. She looks damn happy there. Let me guess, that ain't real, right? That's not legit, right? Well, Jason, it's not really like that, right? Right? Can sit here and show you pictures all damn year, but it's not really like that, right? How many selfies can one woman have? How many selfies can one woman take? I submit to you, she can do a few. I submit to you, she can do a few. Okay, her main character energy is always up. Just thought I would point it out. Just thought I'd point it out. Fellas, you know full well if a woman wearing stripes, all right. I don't see Judge Mathis there. Now, this is March of last year. I see her diddy bopping on the floor. By the way, hey, Judge Mathis, where you at? Where you at? I don't see him. Stella working on her groove? I'm just saying, Jason, you wrong. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's just me, right? It's just me. It's not really like that. No, it's not. That's not really what this is. I'm reading too much into it. Right? Oh, Supreme. Okay. Yeah, I'm reading too much into it, right? All right, I'm upsetting some folks tonight here. I'm upsetting some folks tonight. Folks are not liking the program. That's cool. It's all right. Just thought I would go ahead and just drop in and say, by the way, yeah, Judge Mathis, all the groveling and begging and stuff, man, that's not going to get it. All the groveling and begging, that's not going to do it, my man. It's not going to do it. It's not going to fix it. It's not going to help anything. In the words of Finesse 2 times, when the hoe ready to go, the hoe ready to go. When she ready to go, she ready to go. When a female comes out publicly, every man in here who has ever had to deal with a breakup knows. When the chick go public, the relationship's over. When a female goes public in front of your family, your friends, whatever, when they do stuff like this, dude, that's a declaration of war. It's over. It's over. She's just waiting for the paperwork to go through now. She knows she got rights to your money, but she can't really grab the credit cards, I guess, like she wants to, and got you sitting there trying to act like everything's okay. Man, she's through. She's through. There isn't anything you're going to say or do at this point that is going to reverse this, because she's already made up her mind a year or maybe 2 ago. You just got your divorce papers. It's a cold ass game and it's a dirty system, but that's the way it works. That she's made up her mind a year or 2 ago. She's been planning to give you your papers for a year or 2. Last week was just the week you got your papers. A couple weeks ago, that's just when you got your papers. She's been planning to hand you your papers now for years. She has been hoping for another option. She's been trying to get herself together, make sure that financially when she dropped this bomb on you, that she can keep it pushing how she wants to. You the one not recognizing it. And she got you right where she wants you. Remember, they're out there in California. Damn! So she knows what she gonna get. The kids are grown, but she gonna sit up here and swear, well, I ain't never had to work, so I should get half of everything because I never had to work. Isn't that a crazy rationale? She's never had to work. And she's going to say that he's taken such great care of her that she's never had to work. And that's why she should get half of everything when she divorces him, because he made sure she never had to work. And now we're going to reward him for that by taking everything. Yeah, he's been so bad that she's never had to work. Designer handbags, designer clothes, 2 or 3 houses, jet setting around the world, luxury cruises, celebrity friends, and Instagram that she doesn't even deserve to have. And she's rewarding him for all of those decades of faithful service, faithful productivity. She is rewarding him with a divorce. That's the part I want you to keep in mind. She's rewarding him with a divorce. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here, but I want to go ahead and reference what I said last week about men ending up in the discount bin. Fellas, I said before that if you're a guy who never gets it together, and you're dealing with a female who thinks she's got endless retries, please just keep in mind that even if it's irrational, even if she's Tina Knowles, even if there isn't another crack at bat waiting for her, if she tells herself, I got a Judge Mathis, I can get another one. That's what she's telling herself now. She was able to get you. She'll be able to get another one. That's what she's saying. I could get you, I'll get another one. He's sitting there increasing her value. Time after time, he keeps telling her that her and her family are the best thing to ever happen to him, instead of staying 10 toes down and making it clear that he is the best thing that ever happened to them. If he had stayed in that energy, things would be different today. If he had stayed in that energy, things would be different. But that's not what he did. Instead, he elevated her. He put her on a pedestal. All the moving and hustling he had to do to give her the life he's gotten, now he's telling us that that's a negative. And he should have been doing something else. That's what he's saying now. You can see you got it twisted in the game. You got it messed up, dude. I can't guarantee you she was going to stick around because, man, look at that. I hurt a lot of feelings here tonight, and that's okay. I have absolutely no problem doing that. A lot of the married folk don't like what I said because you want to believe that because you've been working at the plant or working at GM all this time that you're safe. And you don't like it that I just showed you incontrovertible evidence. No, you're not safe. And it upsets a lot of fellas. The majority of my audience is males, But a lot of y'all sucker asses are sitting here upset because I told you the truth. Hey, but it's true. Your woman doesn't really like you like that. You need her to like you a certain way, but you tell yourself that. You just didn't want to hear it. Actually, no, it's really not like that. You can work your ass off. You can work for 30, 40 years. You can go do all that stuff. You can go buy 3 or 4 houses. Go buy that Mercedes she's always wanted. You can do all of that. But at the end of the day, if there is a man who has ever made a better impression, bigger impression, deeper impression on her than you, you will always be second or third to him. It's not true. These other people are lying to you. If you don't want to be disposable, you need to be both the man that she wants and the man that she needs. You can tell yourself, well, I just be the one that she need. And if she ever gets a chance to clown you, if she ever gets a chance to pull the rug from under you, if she ever gets a chance to go in, she's going to show you that, by the way, you're not the guy I wanted. Not the guy I wanted. And Judge Mathis is finding out what happens when you are not the guy she wants. 4 decades. 4 decades later, she's trying to go test the waters and get up and walk out the door 4 decades later. Now you tell me, Mr. Clyde Crash Cup Straight Arrow, what have you done for your woman that Judge Mathis hasn't done for his? Tell me, what do you think you've outcompeted him at? What do you think you've done more of and better? 4 decades of consistency, 4 decades of stability. And another thing is, Judge Mathis has made a habit of sitting up here trying to insult men and, he's on the Me Too garbage and sitting up here congratulating Cassie for suing Diddy and all this old stuff. Okay, now it's his turn, and you know who's going in on him most? The women. What? All that ass kissing that he's done on females, and by the way, after all this time, who's been going in on him the most? Who has been the most unforgiving? Who's been the most relentless? Who's been slinging the most accusations against him and saying that his wife is right no matter what? Who's been doing that? The women. Yeah, Greg, all that crazy stuff. And I've been cool with him. Sometimes I got to tell the truth about it. If it upsets and offends some people here, I got to tell the truth. It's not because I hate you. Hopefully we'll still be cool. We'll see. But bottom line, all that consistency didn't help. All that ass kissing didn't help. All that trying to convince folk that you're not a threat didn't help. There were other things missing there. And what I'm telling you is that I don't think it's anything huge. If she's saying that she wants him around, don't you? He's saying, see, understand something. He's operating under a misconception. He's saying that she wanted him around more. When's the hell's the last time a woman with a rich husband wanted him around more? That's what he guesses. Oh, I've been too negligent. Too negligent? Negligent what? For 30 years? Dude, you've been out here in the streets getting it. Negligent? No, that's you guessing. That's you making an assumption. You want to believe, well, if I were just at home more. Dude, if she wanted you at home more, she would have divorced you 3 decades ago.
Nigga, please.
Folks, if that's a true statement, she would have divorced him 3 decades ago. 2 decades ago. If she was really about, I need my husband to be at home. If that was really what she had as a priority, why didn't she pull this stunt 2 decades ago? when it was clear that it was taking off and he was never going to slow down. What was the problem then? If that's what it really needed to be. He thinks the fact that she stayed put for 4 decades meant that his position was getting stronger. And what I'm saying is that a lot of these fellas, they disregard these gestures of subtle contempt. No, what I'm saying is it's a power play. Greg was never actually the man that she wanted. She's always told herself that she can do better. Her parents, you sat there and heard her mama say that her grandmother. What? Remember, her mama said, my mama said that letting her go up to that college, she wasn't going to meet nothing but hoodlums. Imagine that, saying that hoodlums at the college. So her grandmama and her mama were both criticizing dudes at the college. Not on the street corner at the college. Okay. Think that over for a few moments. So her grandmama was criticizing Greg and her mother criticizing Greg. Dude, that's 2 generations of females in her family. You're not really the guy that they wanted. And what I'm saying is the reason why it is because we can take a look at what's happened with your son. You're not that emasculation where they're not comfortable with you unless you're a harmless, toothless Negro. Dude, eventually all that ass kissing, then they punish you for that. You figure if you kiss their ass enough that'll calm her down. And then you get up one day and realize, damn, she's meaner than she's ever been. You're trying to be more accommodating and placating than you've ever been. And now she's meaner and more hostile than she's ever been. That's how that happened. She's been waiting to dump the dead weight now for decades. Now she feels like she got a chance to do it. She feels like she got a chance to do it. You know, I think I ran some of the riffraff off up in here, so I was getting ready to shut things down, but my numbers went down, which is good. Run off some of the riffraff. Damn sure don't want that. Some of you fellas don't understand when you were I shouldn't say don't understand. Most fellas today are with a female who doesn't really dig them, doesn't really like you, and you willing to sit there because she's the chick who'll take you. Case in point, turn your eyes back to the screen here. Now that we done run off some of the riffraff, please direct your eyes back to the screen. In case y'all didn't know, Chris Brown strikes again. Damn! Oh, the singing lie detector. Y'all, Chris Brown is truth serum. You want to know what your broad really think? Let her have it. Chris Brown's greeting meats is truth serum. He done got another one. This chick here, y'all, is beyond flagrant. Oh, she's beyond disrespectful. Y'all ain't gonna believe what did happen here. It's talking about Chris Brown takes intimate meet and greet photo with Delulu fan who put him in her wedding vows.
Auntie, chill.
Oh, we ain't joking. Not joking. This is her Instagram, and boy, I'm telling you, could it be more disrespectful? There she is with Chris Breezy. There she is with Chris Breezy. Look at the roses. She said, I don't need muscle tone. I'm just going to live off of metabolism. And then there's this.
Well, we finally made it to the day. The day when I give up all my dreams on Chris Brown.
I wouldn't care if they were actors. Bruh, how do you let her show out on you like this? How do you let her show out on you like that?
Well. We finally made it to the day. The day when I give up all my dreams on Chris Brown.
And you saw the look on his face. These beta simps, boys, just okay. Let me go ahead and do that. I mean, she didn't. She just let him have it. And you take a look at his face there, boy. Everybody sitting there laughing. His dudes back there standing. Look, bro, you just. How much more does a woman need to show you to say, nigga, you're not the one I want? You're the fella who's agreeing to sponsor my raggedy ass, but you're not the one I want. You're not it. Now, you take a look at this right here, and it says July 15th. That's 2024. Understood. But here's their wedding photos, and this is September 30th, 2023. What? Boy, don't he look like Russell Wilson? Oh, he thinks he's stout. I mean, he is so proud. Yep, this picture right here says it all. Says it all. I mean, I got a catch. Okay. All right, fellas, I mean, just understand. You tell yourself Pookie and Ray Ray is the jobless dude down the street with the weed habit and the Xbox. Yeah, you can be a pension Pookie too. You can be a paid Pookie too. You sure can. Every Pookie ain't got a jail record and a record deal and an Xbox and a weed habit. Some of y'all Pookies are out here grabbing up chicks who ain't doing nothing for you. You're sponsoring her. Then you go to her Instagram. I guess that's why she got a fat friend, so she can feel like she's the fit one. Okay, I see her. Where is he at, by the way? Now, his woman is running around with her sheer through butt cheeks swinging. Where's he at? All right. Oh, what do you know? She's got a girlfriend. All right. All hands up who didn't see this coming. All hands up who didn't see this coming. Okay, we just riding down the road. They're enjoying that resort life. Once again, where is he at? Is she trying to crip walk with the other chick? I don't know. Hanging out with her girls, by the way. Okay, fellas, when you got the chick who's still doing her high school thought routine at 30 and 40 years old, these are warning signs that you're supposed to be picking up on. That she ain't really with you like that. By the way, hey, Judge Mathis, what was that you were saying about, never have more fun with your friends than you do with your wife? Because she looked like she having hella fun without her husband. Just thought I would point that out. She looked like she having hella fun without him. Okay, every time I turn around, where is he? I'm seeing her, but by the way, where is he at? Okay, she's hanging with all my single ladies. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just say it like it is. She's a Los Angeles 6. I'm not being disrespectful. She's a LA 6. I didn't say she's ugly. I'm saying she's a LA 6. She's a LA 6. I'm not dissing nothing. I ain't saying anything. She's a LA 6. But to this dude, oh, she's a 10. She's a 10. for him. And she knows it. She knows that she's the flyest thing that he ever had. She's the flyest thing that he ever had access to. She's the most fly thing that he ever saw, that he ever was able to get his hands on. Never mind that everybody else didn't have their hands on it first. So she understands, like, these dudes who don't get it, when they got those stars in their eyes. That's the one thing that so many people were saying about Judge Mathis's picture with his wife when they first got together. You can see that he really digs her. He is real happy to be there. And you can see it. He looks like, man, I'm on top of the world. And then you take a look at his wife and then you see, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Let me go ahead and elaborate a little bit further here for you here. How does a man end up in the discount bin? How do men end up in the discount bin? Men end up in the discount bin by doing things like this. They end up in the discount bin by not recognizing when a female doesn't really dig you. They end up in the discount bin by letting a female, I mean, how many times did she have to post this damn video?
Well. We finally made it to the day. The day when I give up all my dreams on Chris Brown.
How many times did she got to post that? Then you take a look at this. You take a look at this, fellas. I know it can be brutal. I know you want to believe everybody deserves love. I get it. Body language. Body language. Body language. Dude. Body language. I don't know what more I can say. Body language. I mean, looks like a sad sack. No disrespect. Body language. Main character energy. He's treating her like he's her fan. Okay. Is that Russell Wilson stuff? Oh, bro, did you really do that? Thumbs up. Our little square law-abiding citizen. Hi, I go to work every day. I just love my girl. Doing a little cornball stuff. Okay, man. All right. Take a look at this. I know a girl whose one goal was to visit Rome. Then she finally got to Rome and all she did was post pictures for people at home. Okay. Yeah, he's more like a little brother than a man to her. Okay. Folks, body language. Just thought I would point it out. By the way, body language. The only woman got her arms around him. Okay. Ain't that something? Not your wife. Not your wife, though. Okay, they treating him like a big-ass furry pet. Let me explain something to y'all right quick. If you want to know the reason why it is that so many black men are so stone-faced and serious, it's because we understand the hazard of people making jokes about us. We understand what happens when people laugh about us. We understand when that happens. And we would rather have people take us seriously and kind of not be comfortable around us than to be so damn comfortable they can do this. Let me just go ahead and keep it real with y'all. We would rather have people be a little uncomfortable around us and know we dead ass serious. We would rather have people take us more seriously than we mean to be than to sit up here and have this happen. We would rather have you be uncomfortable and take us more seriously than we meant for you to than to sit up here and try to make you comfortable and this happens. Because we understand that there's a small difference between people laughing with us and laughing at us. And that once people start laughing at us, you'll never get that back. Once they start laughing at you, once you become the butt of the joke, once you become the little fuzzy bear, and he don't get it, and he didn't get it, and she's just going out of her way to show open contempt. Folks, body language, body language, body language. He don't get it. He doesn't get it. Neither did Mathis. He didn't get it either. Mathis didn't get it either. I'm not being excessive or hyperbolic or guessing my way through it. He didn't get it. Take a look at these pictures here. Do they look booed up or do they look like co-workers? London, Rome, all over Europe, and look how she acting. If another man saw her with him, we would immediately see, oh, she don't fool with you like that. Dudes will come up and talk to her at the club, offer to buy her drinks because they can see, oh, she don't really fool with you like that, nigga. Now, she'll turn the other ones down if she doesn't get a good enough offer. But any man can take a look at this body language and see, yeah, she don't fool with you like that. She doesn't. She doesn't. If the nigga she really wanted would give her the time of day, she would never be here. Oh yeah, one more thing to all my pension pimps out there. Fellas, this right here is not a compliment. This is not a compliment. Who's paying for this trip? Understand when you're being insulted. Who's paying for this? When a female is posting up about how much money you've spent, that's what she's bragging on. Oh, he took me to such and such a restaurant. He took me to London. He took me to Rome. He took me to Italy. We got to go to the opera. Took me to the Colosseum and the fountains. And we got to go to this restaurant where they sing at the opera. All this stuff where you spending money. All this stuff where you spending money. That's important for you to understand. Recognize when you're getting played. He doesn't get it because, let's just tell the truth, he's so desperate for female attention that he's willing to be a damn doormat. Okay. Super thankful to my college girlfriends. My college girlfriends and my man, LOL. In the words of my husband, okay, she trying to clean that up. The highlight of the wedding. Yeah, the highlight of the wedding damn sure wasn't when she was sitting up here talking about Chris Brown. It sure wasn't that. You take a look at that. Body language means something. Take a look at how she is with her husband. Take a look at how she is with him. And then take a look at how she was with Chris Breezy. Okay. Not Chris's body language. Take a look at hers. Not Chris's. Take a look at hers. And then you take a look at Judge Mathis. I got to do it. I got to do it. Was this their last picture together? Speaks 1,000 words when you think about it. There he is. There the wife is. He already been put on notice. He already knew. What do you say, July 17th? Yeah, he already knew it. Dude, it ain't working. The thing that made you valuable to her, you don't have it. You're not doing it anymore. Body language. Looks like Roland Martin trying to hold a female hostage. Body language. You're in the discount bin, bruh. You're in the discount bin. Too soft, too beta for too long. And when things did go down, you didn't G up and stay on your square. You start begging. Okay. Just saying, body language. Body language. It means something. That's really you right now, Judge Mathis. I'm just saying. Body language. You don't have to believe it. What fellas are learning here today is what I taught them the whole damn time. First of all, Judge Mathis got married too damn young. If he had waited until he had a bunch of life experiences with a bunch of females and a bunch of money and a bunch of places, he most likely would not have done what he did. Instead, he sat up here and made an emotional decision. We young, she gonna stay with me forever. And what she showed him is, welcome to the new damn world. You're just as vulnerable as anybody else. 4 decades later. And she has no reservations about dropping the bomb. 4 decades later. He thinks he's gonna salvage this. It's like, dude, you don't get it. That's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. If she had been there for you the whole time, it'd be different. You just were lucky enough that you professionally took off, and she's a little simple gal who didn't have any better options, despite what she might delusionally try to tell herself. You were the best she could do, but she doesn't want to believe it. She wants to believe that Magic Johnson is the best she can do. She wants to believe Michael Jordan is the best she can do. She does not want to believe that you're the best she can do. You want to know why it is? It's so easy for you to get on that plane and leave home? Because, you ain't really needy on like that. It's not like she's that kind of chick that makes you just want to stick around the house like that. And she doesn't like that either. Maybe you made it clear to her that you might have had other options. If you cross that line, you got to be ready to stand on it. Obviously, he wasn't. So the fellas out there right now, don't tell me a damn thing about what you're doing and what you got. Don't tell me a damn thing about what you're doing and what you got. Every week we turn around now, we singing Another One Bites the Dust. 4 decades he gave her. The best years of his life. Peak productivity. She ain't had to do nothing but sit at home, watch the kids when they were kids. And that's all she had to do. She didn't have to do anything else. And it still wasn't enough. She has been living a 1%er life for the last quarter of a century on his dime, on his efforts, from his blood, sweat, and tears. All she had to do was just sit there. And it still wasn't enough. That's the moral of this story. Still wasn't enough. Now he's sitting around talking about he's going to get his wife back. Now he's sitting around talking about he's fighting to win his wife back. Now, let me be clear about what I'm going to say next. I don't want to see anybody have to break up like that. Y'all know me. I don't ever advocate for people to break up, to get divorced. I don't ever advocate for those kind of things. I think it's scummy behavior. I don't ever wish folk to be breaking up and whatnot. They got together. Okay, y'all make it do what it do. I don't ever wish ill on their relationships like that. You know me. You know my rules. You know what I say. What I am going to say is he hasn't done himself a bunch of favors because he's been out of the loop. He's been weak about it and didn't understand that he was. He's been weak about it and didn't understand it. Now he's in the discount bin because, Greg, you got old. You've gotten uncompetitive. You've tried to tell yourself that your wife sees things differently, dude. No, she doesn't. Your wife thinks that she's the young, sexy, sporty one. And after all these decades, she still sees you as the little square, awkward dude who is lucky to be with her, which is exactly what you told your parents. Told her parents when you were sitting there in front of them 2 years ago, that you're lucky to be with her. At no point have you made it clear to her that she's damn lucky that you even snort snot in her direction. You never made that clear. So guess who's the star in this marriage? She is. A woman cannot look up to you. The problem with pinch and pimps is that they start submitting. She can't look up to you. You're not competitive. You're not in the gladiatorial arena. You're not fighting. You're not winning any wars. You're not somebody that she can admire and look up to. You're not the man like that. All you had were your professional accomplishments, and now you don't have that anymore. And she's telling herself, well, you know what? If Tina Knowles could get divorced and get another man, I can too. I can too. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the link for the Zoom is open. I think we run off the riff-raff here, so we can go ahead and go with that. If you go on Zoom for me here, I'm not going to put you up on the screen. However, I need you to make sure that you have your camera and your microphone turned on, just so we can make sure we don't have any trolling issues. Very, very important there. But if you want to go ahead and speak to me here tonight, by the way, the other couple of folks there, I had a couple of folks who do need to go ahead and call us up. So let me go ahead and make sure we get them on the line here, so we can make sure they go ahead and talk to us as well. We wouldn't want them to miss out. Crystal B, we're going to go ahead and give you a couple of minutes, and then you need to speak to us. All right, we're over here on Zoom. I've got Kevin on Zoom. All right, Kevin, what's on your mind?
What's going on, big brother? Can you hear me good? I'm in my truck.
Okay, brother. Yeah, looks like you're rolling down the road. What's going on?
It's all good. Just wanted to make sure that I'm tracking you properly. I started writing down the points that I believe that you were making from the beginning of the video. First point was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when they were sitting at that table, him and her and her family, that was his time to, if he hadn't done it up until that point, to assert himself as the big dog of that table. And when he didn't, he kind of sort of shot himself in the foot. Another thing that I saw, and I believe I'm understanding it properly, is that if she don't respect her father, you capitulating to her father makes her father the head of your household. And that's not going to work out well because she really doesn't respect her daddy like that. I'm not sure if that's her situation, but I believe that that's the proper takeaway from that. And just want to bounce something off of you. Let me know if I'm tracking you properly. So to put today's lessons and takeaways along with everything else that you've been attempting to impart to us. Okay, so a man's competitiveness is what makes him valuable, among other things, his resources and so forth and so on. But all of that is a direct result of him being competitive. In the eyes of a woman, if a man is leaving the area wherein he gained his notoriety and he gained his fame and the field where he ascended to the top of his level, when he leaves that field and transitions into another field, if she believes that you aren't competitive, she's going to want to hit the gas on you and leave. And I arrived at that conclusion. Let me know if I'm looking at it properly. I arrived at that conclusion because a competitive person is competitive no matter where they are. So as long it don't matter what I'm involved in, if I'm the kind of cat that'll get out there and throw elbows and stuff like that, I'm gonna get to it no matter if it's TV, if it's film, whatever the case may be. So am I looking at that properly? Am I understanding what you're putting down properly?
Well, here's the thing. When she first met him, her parents, by their own admission, they're telling you what their perspective on it was.
Uh-huh.
So he might be out there in them streets, he from their housing projects, and she dug that. She had, listen for the differences here. She had a mother and a father.
Right.
Greg said he ain't never known his daddy, and his mama died young. So take a look at this juxtaposition. Take a look at this contrast.
Yeah.
She came from a 2-parent home. He came from a single mom and didn't get to have her that long. So That was part of the attraction that she had to him. He was different. He wasn't like her dad. He wasn't like where she came from. She found that exciting. She found that interesting. She already had the suburban life. She grew up with that. That's a given. The thugs, the G's, the street cats, they can offer her something she hasn't seen. Something that she's not used to. That was what she met when she first met him. Now, a decade, 2 decades later, he gets his degree and stuff. He wants to go ahead and make himself something in the world. That's cool. But do you realize you're changing? You're not going to be the same man she was with then. And that's fine if she changes along with you. But if she doesn't, if you create a life where she can sit back at home and she doesn't ever have to evolve and change with you, your life is going somewhere and she gets to stay where she is, bruh, she's still that college chick chasing excitement around the block. And your television career and stuff has introduced a different species of excitement, but you're changing. And then she wakes up 2 decades later and realizes you're not that dude that I met. Yeah, you're great. You're cool. You're a lot. Notice he ain't cheating on her, beating on her, leaving on her, right. You don't doing drugs. Right. You don't have any of those complaints. Okay, so what the hell is the problem? Well, you've been doing the same thing now you've been doing for 40 years. That's a problem? Wait a minute. It wasn't a problem when she first met you. You must have been a different person. It's not because you're doing something different. You must be acting differently than you were. And you are. You know what it is? You started treating her like you need her. Now she's like, is what I said there before. Now she's saying, my family took you in. You wouldn't be where you are today if my daddy and my mama had. I warned you all about that. I've been warning you. The red pill folk, they can't tell you any of this. I've been warning you. When a female, don't ever make a female think that you couldn't do this without her. The second that you start, she my rock and my pedestal, and I needs her. I wouldn't be where I is today if it wasn't for her. That's going to come back and bite you viciously. What do you know? 4 decades later, it's back to bite him. She's telling him, look at the attitude she's giving. She's acting like he needs her. And take a look at what he said. He's been saying it, that they did a favor for him instead of the other way around. You can only sit up here and belittle yourself like that for so long until the people around you start to believe it.
So no wonder she leaving, because she feel like she made you, and if she thinks she made you, she thinks she can make another you.
Alrighty then.
It's real simple psychology. You have conditioned her to believe that she is the kind of woman. Follow me. You've conditioned, every woman wants to believe that she's Cinderella. Now you've conditioned her. This woman here, you can't tell her nothing. She's been married to Judge Mathis. She's been on cruise ships with Samuel L. Jackson. She believes that she is a Smokey Robinson wife. Every celebrity you can name, every entertainer, every famous person. Oh, I'm the kind of woman they go for. I got married to Judge Mathis. You're not going to be able to tell. Now that she believes that, you can't tell her nothing now. She's going to tell you, I don't believe them folks. I actually did it.
Big bruh, all right. I don't think she will, but tell me this then. In light of everything that you said, she going to give up that last name?
Well, if she was eager to do that, I would figure she would have done like Jennifer Lopez and put that in the documents and whatnot. I don't think she's gonna distance herself from that name. I don't think she is, because she doesn't have anything else to trade on. Without that name, nobody even knows who she is. So remember, when you're a woman who's unknown and you marry a ultra famous man, his last name becomes your calling card. Right. That becomes your business card to be able to say the name Mathis, to be able to say the name Bezos. That becomes your calling card. If she loses that, tell me what she's got. She's just going to look like the little divorced weirdo trying to hang out at these Hollywood parties and stuff. She can't even get in anymore. She'll be hoping that Samuel L. Jackson and his wife take pity and let her in. She won't have a legitimate reason to be there. Kamora Lee Simmons at least made a name for herself as a model and with her own business venture. This woman hadn't even done that. So I predict that she's not going to distance herself from it.
Well, that's all, big bro. I just want to weigh in on that because I'm married. So, but I'm not. I'm paying attention though. You know what I mean? Taking notes in the whole nine. So, I'm not in it to just be a fool or look stupid. Or, you know what I mean? At the end of my days, I'm trying to stay on top.
Okay, well, my biggest warning sign that I see for married men, particularly married men who've been married for longer than 10 years, most of them, in my experience, they are willfully blind and willfully oblivious. They don't want to see. They ignore everything. They got sexual access and they ignore everything else, including the most important and most damning thing. Are you the best your woman thinks she can do? Now, if there's another man who has made a greater impression on her, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Well, Jason, how do I know? I keep telling y'all how to test for it. Are you admired? Are you looked up to? Will she throw blows over you? We talking about permanently damaging things. Is she willing to cross every line for you and there's no doubt in your mind about it? If there isn't, you probably are the best. If there's a doubt, and you know there is, well, you pay your money and you take your chances. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. You pay your money and you take your chances. All I can do is sit up here and tell you, hey, these are the signs to watch out for. Because those are things that can't be faked. They can try to fake some of those things. Time can't be faked. Time investment can't be faked. Those other things can't be faked. Over here on Zoom, Felix, let me go ahead and get your camera and your microphone on for us here. All right, there you go, Felix. Hi, Felix, what's on your mind?
Well, Jason, I'm trying to understand, man. I'm a 34-year-old man. I'm an attorney, and
I got him shook today. I got the married men and the professionals shook today. So go ahead, lay it on me.
Well, I'm single right now, no kids, but I'm just trying to figure out, is it ever even a appropriate time to run the gauntlet of getting married and having children? Because that's something I'm very interested in doing.
Well, of course, I mean, and you should, but my whole thing about it is you have to be strategic. You have to be tactical. The world has changed. You cannot approach the world with the simple-minded philosophy that your grandfather and your father had, because the world is different now. Let me go ahead and say this one more time. At the middle of the 20th century, you had what? Being in six figures was the top 1%. Now it's the top 15. That's what you had then. You didn't have Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Hell, to even see one, we had to see the Cannonball Run movies in the 80s. Today, they're inundated with those things. Today, they are flooded and saturated with them. Your grandfather didn't have to compete with that. Your father didn't have to compete with that. Your father didn't have to compete with a 25-year-old female who thinks she's supposed to be driving a BMW on his dime. That wasn't an expectation that a woman had of your father or your grandfather. That's where we are with you. Not only that, but you got to be tall and handsome and well-spoken and articulate and can take over a room. And your father wasn't expected to do that. He was expected to be gainfully employed and eventually get him a pension. So maybe your daddy, your grandmama can drive a Cadillac.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you.
Do me a favor, brother, just to make sure a few things here. I do need your camera to stay on for me. You won't be put in front of everybody else, but I just need you to stay on for me. Thank you.
Let me ask you this right here. So, like, I guess what's required to compete now? Because I work in a very competitive industry, and I'm just trying to figure out, I guess what are the rules? Because it seems like everything's a bit more distorted. My generation specifically, though, Well,
you have a few advantages. First of all, if you are a licensed practicing attorney, that title means something, but only if you got something to back it up with. So even if you just started, attorneys usually start somewhere between $50,000 to $75,000 a year. That you're not going to be able to skate on that for very long. So your competence is going to matter. You don't look like Quasimodo, so that certainly helps as well. You look like are you a member of a frat?
Yeah.
I mean, you look like it. He looks like a straight frat. Looks like a straight Q. That's what he looks like. Did I nail it or did I nail it?
Nah, I don't want to put my foot
Okay, I'm about to say, well, he looked like a Q, y'all. I'm just going to say he looked like a Q. All right, just be quiet. You already done dry snitched on yourself. Be quiet. As soon as I saw you, I said, now, that's a frat dude right there. So very, very obvious. Light skin stuff. All right. Okay, but so it's good about the career. That's great. Your competence is going to matter more than anything else because if you're not moving up, you're just another guy with a degree. And that's it. What does it take to be competitive? You're thinking about it the wrong way. Don't put the cart in front of the horse. The number one thing you need to do, regardless of what your career is, income level or anything else, although they should never remain baseline, you need to give it time, first of all. You don't choose the woman for the rest of your life under these perilous circumstances with these draconian laws that put all the burden on you and no accountability on her. You got to be careful. So the rule that I've given is you need to wait until you're at least in your late 30s and you're making six figures. Because the way you see the world at 37, making $120,000 a year, is going to be radically different than the way you saw it at 22, making $35,000 a year. You will see the world radically differently. Also, the reason for that stretch of time is because you're like, well, Jason, I'm just hanging out here. Yes, you do. Everybody and their mama is trying to convince you not to have any relationships. You need to be sitting back here taking a vow of chastity. No, you don't. You need to meet a bunch of females. You need to talk to a bunch of females. You need to have a bunch of experiences, both positive and negative, so you can understand just how bad it can really get. And so you will believe it and accept it. Because males who don't have a bunch of experience with women have a bunch of naivete. And then they tell themselves things like, well, that was just one bad one. As opposed to that's female nature. Once you get in your late 30s and you've had about 10 or 12 girlfriends, now it's going to be very hard for somebody to fool you. Now you can start making some decisions because you got enough experience under you that you're not naive anymore. You can recognize a fake female from a mile away. You've seen enough fakes, chameleons, the chicks who try to lay low for a little bit and then bam, got you later. But that's only if you give yourself experience. You hop out there trying to get married as quick as you can because you want reliable sexual access so you can focus your mind on other things. And that's what gets most males. They're trying to solve that issue. So, well, Jason, so I can stop worrying about that and so I can concentrate my efforts over here. And that's what gets you. I understand it's a hassle. I understand it's difficult. But that's what females count on that. They count on you getting tired. And then she's like, okay, he's desperate to settle down. Bam, got him. All I have to do is pretend to be everything he wants because females know exactly what you want. Every female knows exactly what you want. She's trying to figure out how to get the best out of you without giving it to you. And then once you give in quickly, bam, now she got you.
Yeah, let me ask you this one more question while I got you, man. Can you engage in some future predictions and tell me what you think in 5 years, the group of women who never got married, that never had children, where do you see them at when they approach 40? What happens there?
Well, it's more of what you already see now. Here's the real issue. The real issue is that we can't get the younger females to value marriage because they're too busy getting high on their own supply. And with so much attention being given to them, there's no pressure on them to close a deal. So they're out here freestyling and living it up. Once they get in their late 20s, early 30s, if they haven't had any kids, and even if they have, now they realize, oh, hell is real, and I got to make a decision. Here's the problem. Now they're in the discount bin. Now they still want the same thing they want, only now they're ready to make a deal. They still want a guy in the top 20%. And all of them are trying to dogpile for him. Whether she's 18 or 68, they all still want him. In their early 20s, they figured I can make that decision at my leisure. Once they get in their late 20s and early 30s, they realize, oh, I can't do that anymore. I got to make a deal now. So what happens? They get in their late 20s, their 30s, or their 40s. And at that point, it just becomes break glass in case of emergency. Jason, what do you mean? Women live a different life than you do. Women keep orbiters. They value keeping orbiters. They stay friendly with men, and that's because they know the value of allies. So once they get in their 30s, if the men that they want are not making an offer, then they start flipping through their orbiters and they try to find the highest value orbiter they can. Let me see if I can pull him down. And let me fool him into thinking he was my first choice. So that's what is happening. And that's what will exacerbate and accelerate in happening. We're just going to have a lot more of them. Be a whole lot more chicks out here. They're going to be older chicks, chicks with kids, chicks without kids. You're going to actually see more of them without them, either because of abortions or because nobody ever wanted to make a wife or a mother out of them. And you're just going to see more chicks who've aged out. That's what you're going to see. A wealth of females who have just aged out and are hoping to get in where they fit in. And then they'll be with you for a few months, because they can't even wait years anymore. They'll be with you for a few months, and then they're going to be applying heavy pressure, telling you that now you got to marry her. That is already trending to be the culture now, which is once they've aged out, screwed themselves up, single mom themselves, STD'd themselves, drugged out, everything else. If they do get a hold of a fella, she gonna give you a few months and she's gonna act like perfect Stepford wife, and then bam, now you need to be marrying me. I can't be waiting around. Okay, them niggas got to run you around the block for 20 years, but I got to marry you within 6 months. I ain't playing no games no more. So that's what you're dealing with. Let me find out here. How old are you?
Say that one more time.
How old are you?
34.
Okay. As I said, y'all, he's about to turn 35, so things are about to start taking off for him. His trajectory is about to start going up. Heavy pressure is going to be applied. Females in their 40s are going to be trying to holler at you and applying heavy pressure. They're all going to try to hit you with the same thing, that they can have kids. Don't fall for it. Not because they can't, but because it's like, if a chick makes it into her 40s and hasn't been taken off the market, there's a problem. She's a disciplinary problem. She's got emotional issues. Hell, if she's made it into her 30s, more than likely, yeah, there's a bunch of problems. She knows what they are because every man has told her. Now she's going to try to conceal them from you because everybody's told her what they are. And she's hoping she can sit on it long enough and hide it long enough that you will marry her within 6 or 8 months. And then bam, now she can stop faking. That's why I tell you, you know if she's wife material within 6 months, but don't marry her for another 2 or 3 years. Well, Jason, why not? Because she can be fake for 6 months. She can't be fake for 2 years. Eventually, especially if you've had enough experience with females, the walls are going to start cracking and you're going to start seeing, oh, okay, yeah, you're starting to drop that charade now. You couldn't keep it all solid. Now you're going to see that, and it'll be very hard. So even if you think you found the one, she needs to run that gauntlet for 2 or 3 years. That will tell you if this is really what you see or whether this is just another acting ploy.
Do you think we're going to lead to a increased welfare state similar to what Japan is going through right now?
That's a more nuanced question. The issue with Japan is that you have an aging population that is now starting to outstrip the working age population. So that's a little bit of a different question there. In order to have a welfare state, you really have to have dependence. That is not really what we're going toward. What we're going toward is more of this quasi-communist thing. And by that, I mean in places like China and North Korea, the women are expected to work and fist fight and every damn thing else alongside the men. That's the culture. You're going to see that happen here. Where, as far as the workforce is concerned, you're going to slowly see the news media and everybody else change from talking about the men financing the country to the women. They'll just seamlessly start talking about productivity, but the women will be expected to finance the country. And biologically speaking, women don't do well under that. Yeah, but you signed up for the trick bag now. So that's really where this is going. Please remember what corporate profits were before women entered the workforce. Now, if you can really put it on them, think about that for a few moments. The men will sit back and be, single men have always been more productive than single women. Single mothers have to work their asses off. And if you maneuver them to get degrees, now they make too much money to get welfare and state assistance. So you're on them heavy to go ahead and get them a degree so they don't have to get public assistance. Now they just work their asses off for the rest of their lives and they're quasi-men. So the men will sit back and take care of themselves. The women will sit up here and get pregnant by some bum, but then have to work her ass off with a degree. And as far as the oligarchs are concerned, you get the best of both worlds. Now, that will not be who they get. But then again, a bunch of them are screwed up. Take a look at Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Bill Gates. These are hardly moral men. These are hardly men whose marital status you would want to follow or emulate. Far from it. Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, I rest my case. Those are the guys making these, Kamala Harris. Those are the folks making these policies. So I didn't tell you it's going to be a lover's paradise. It won't be. I'm just telling you, if you ask me what to expect, it'll be something more like that. So look for more of a situation where the women are going to be maneuvered into becoming the primary force in the workforce. They will never make as much as the men, but they won't have to. They'll be required to work as much as us, even if they didn't earn as much as us.
Yeah, appreciate your time, man.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Fellas, don't get desperate. You cannot afford to get desperate. You say, oh man, I'm tired of running these streets right here. I need to get me a female. I need to get me a female I know gonna be at home when I get there. Fellas, women can see that dripping desperation off you from a mile away. When you're a guy who's just looking to leave the streets, you just looking to leave the game. Don't you understand? Females are looking for you. They're looking for that last low-hanging, dangling piece of fruit out there that nobody else really wanted, or if she can get to you first. So some chick who's down on her luck and it's the last train leaving, she's going to make you think that she's really desiring you and she's really interested when she can see, oh, you're a little soft cupcake sad sack. You're not used to anything. All right, bring your little pathetic ass over here. Yeah, baby, I love you. Oh, you worked so hard. Oh, great degree. I'm so proud of you. Need your feet rubbed? And so she goes through her little acting routine because they know exactly what they're supposed to do. And she wants to do it. She just doesn't want to do it for you. But she knows how to fake it. I'll just fantasize that I'm really with the man I want to be with until finally she's like, okay, I'm in here good enough now. I got the ring. I got the kid. I got you trapped. Then she starts backing off of it. All that great stuff she was doing that got you down the aisle, now she starts backing off of it. Now she starts showing open contempt. Now she starts showing open disrespect. Now she starts doing that. Now it becomes that situation. And that's not accidental. Bunch of fellas fall for that. And will continue to do so. Let me go ahead and get back over here on Zoom. All right, I got my man Prince out of Richmond over here on Zoom. What's on your mind, Prince?
My brother Jason, I hope you can hear me good. Oh, yeah, brother. I believe that women do like that, do a lot of things because like how she carry on and she's around these celebrities, she's telling the men that she used to be with, look what you're missing. So he thinks she's advertising to him or he don't understand what's going on. But she's out there advertising to the world. Look, I'm valuable. I made this man who he is. See what if you would have stayed with me, look where you be now. See, a lot of times women look at things differently. Y'all brought up this issue about it. You got to be tactical. When you dealing, the way I learned to be tactical, it wasn't just combat military, but in the military, when I saw all these people in a confined space, you get to see human nature take its course. You get to see the wildest things that you've never seen in your life when it comes to male and female relationships. And I'm telling you, my grandmother had a saying. She always told my big mama, she said, you can't make nobody want you, baby. But what do you think it is if a person is being productive, like the young lawyer man, they're worried about being fearful? I ain't saying he's necessarily fearful of women, but they need to be about do you think they're trying to make a woman their purpose? What do you think the issue is?
I think what happens, I know. What happens is they get with somebody and they're not honest while those two people together.
Talk about it.
He wants to believe that he can get something for nothing. or that he can get what he really wants on his terms, as opposed to looking at it the way it really is. He saw her home situation, saw how radically different it was from his. Yeah. He saw all those things and disregarded it because there was something that he needed. And then you take a look at her. The same thing I always ask you, Prince, how much sacrificing did she do to get him?
None. It don't seem like it.
Okay. And just understand, a woman sees your worth as much as whatever it cost her to get you. It didn't cost her anything.
And regardless of what he produces for her, that doesn't matter. She remember when it didn't cost her nothing to do with it. I'm going to say it like this here. Women bringing children into this world, that's not a sign of allegiance from a woman, is it, Jason?
I mean, having kids, you mean?
Having kids for a man, like she
yeah, I mean, brother, women don't have kids to get free tickets to Disney World. It's just, fellas need to stop being stupid about that kind of stuff. Women want men to believe that children are sacred because those are things that women leverage to get benefits. And that's just the bottom line. So they want men to believe they're priceless. Okay, and who's out here fighting for the abortions? The women. So if children were so priceless to the women, then why are they out here fighting for abortions then? If that's the case. That's something that they sell to you. So marriage is all important. Okay. But who files all the divorces? Children are all important. Okay, but who's having all the abortions?
The women.
So do you see how that goes? Well, I want it when it's to my convenience. And those are things that they sell to you because it gives her leverage. All you got to do is sit there and say, I don't care about those things. What else you got? Ooh. Now you find out what she's really going to bring you.
Yes, sir.
But when you sit up here and talk about something as simple as a kid, man, chicks will have a kid to get a Section 8 voucher.
Yes, they will.
They'll have a kid to get a tax deduction. They'll have a kid to get cruise ship tickets.
Yes.
Men cannot afford to be that silly and naive. But they look for males who are desperate, silly, and naive, and she got you locked up for the rest of your life.
And you brought up the key point about the smiling. You know, we sit there, I laugh with you sometimes, brother. When I go around dealing with women or their families, there's not a whole bunch of smiling. You got to keep that to a minimum, and letting other women touch you all in the hair. That's signals. That's all signals of emasculation. That's saying that your woman don't give a damn about you. She let another woman rub off through your hair. That's how I feel about it. Now you tell me what your opinion is on that. That when there's no personal boundaries, and you giggling while a woman rubbing off through your hair and your woman right there.
Well, just keep that in mind. You take a look at the way old boy was acting, and then you go take a look at the man his wife really want to be with. Behaves.
Said it at the wedding.
Chris Breezy wasn't sitting up there doing all that giggling and whatnot. No. Chris don't do that. He doesn't look giggling. And that's another thing. He's outgoing. He doesn't look recessive. You know, he doesn't look like the kind of guy you would even do that with. A lot of fellas don't understand when, dude, you're just the fella she needs because she can't get anything better. And you're easily impressed because you're not competitive. And so you have a female who is showing obvious signs of contempt. And you're telling yourself that because she throw her legs open, well, that means I'm winning. Whatever else she does, as long as she's throwing her legs open, that means I have the most value to her. And really, it's just like, okay, you can't afford to be that naive. You can't. That's going to come back to bite you. It's going to come back to hurt you. When you're willfully ignorant, because that's why I said, let's just be honest. He's never been with a chick who was that fly for him. That's the flyest chick he ever had. And she knows it. So if you tell yourself that sad sacks can't get some sex, sure you can. Especially if you're a bailout. And most men think that being a bailout is winning. It's not that they don't know that they're one. They do know there are. They figure, okay, that's the way the game is played.
But I got the woman. I got her. Anybody else to run through her, but I got her.
And it's all good until the day she denies you the one thing you need most. You needed more than money. You needed more than a job. you needed more than sex. You need respect. A man can be with a woman he is not having sex with if he is supremely respected by her. A man can't do nothing with a female. He getting all the sex in the world and he's not respected. Can't do it. That's going to eat your soul.
All the way through.
And this dude is sitting up here because he's young and stupid and she got him down the damn aisle and he's tricking off and every damn thing else. You're paying for all this stuff, bro. She ain't showing you. When she's sitting up here posting that video multiple times talking about I had to give him my Chris Brown at your wedding. And you sitting there.
That's solidified in history. They have children, that's going to be seen.
And that's just the guy that you've seen doing it. There's a bunch of others like him.
Yes.
There's a bunch of others like him out there. He's just the one got stuck doing it. And it should never get that far along and get that bad. But there's a lot of dudes out there who are just desperate, man. They're desperate and they don't want to have to really admit what their value actually is. So we'll make it transactional. I've never told fellas that income is how you keep a female. Competitiveness is.
Right.
But competitiveness is not just income. Judge Mathis is in the discount bin now because he told himself, as long as I'm making money the way I am, we'll be okay. And what I'm saying is actually your woman's had contempt for you. And she's had it for a while. Yes. And you've never addressed that. You never sat down and told her, look here, your mama and your daddy going to go out tonight or tomorrow night or whatever. Don't y'all bring your asses back till I tell you to. And this is a conversation that should have happened a decade ago. It's like, yeah, let me sit down here. Yeah, we need to talk about something right here. It's like, I'm not being really respected like I'm supposed to be.
Because he don't respect the men the way he should. You know, when I'm talking about, he has to have respect among the men. There's certain things that I'm not going to do when I'm talking to you. No woman can interfere with what you and I are talking about, Jason, or any man. Because you don't get in the middle of what men doing. But he says things sometimes that where this is my whole world, or that he might criticize men. Yeah, you should be on child support and all these different things that he say. But you should be unifying. A woman ain't gonna respect you if you defer to her instead of having respect among the men. I'm not saying he's like. I have a lot of respect for Judge Mathis' accomplishments, but what I'm saying is when it comes to the men, he's isolated himself, Jason.
What? So you knew everything you needed to see when you see him sitting at the table with her father and he's making himself subservient to the father. He can tell himself that that's respect. I'm like, dude, you're exalting her father over you. Her mama is saying it, daddy's saying it, she's saying it. This isn't good, man. This is not good. They're not showing respect for you. They're supposed to be talking about you in nothing but glowing terms. They're on international television. They're supposed to be talking about you in nothing but admiring, glowing terms. You're supposed to be the best damn thing ever. And that's not what they're doing. They feel like if their daughter hadn't threw her legs around you, you wasn't going to go nowhere and be nothing.
That's what they tell themselves. And see, this is the lack of respect that comes from he's taking care of them and he's not demanding in respect in return. You can't make these people, he says I think he said Christian, the Bible says you're supposed to leave your brother and father and cling to your wife. Y'all supposed to become one flesh. You're supposed to be leading that thing. But you talking about, I'm not deferring to no other man when it comes to my woman. And I have a daughter that I love, but I would not interfere in her relationship with what she's doing. That's your husband over there. Whenever she decides to get married, that's your husband over there. I remember one of my friends, when he was younger, he said his uncle his wife uncle used to help him when he got in a bind. And one time he helped him, he about in his early 20s then. He say, I'm gonna help you, man, but you shouldn't have to come to another man to take care of your family. He said, I'm gonna do this here for you. He said, nah, you right. No, you're right. I need to handle my own business. And he started handling his own business from then on.
Well, like I said, Judge Mathis didn't just become like this. Judge Mathis is a professional alpha. when the camera's on, it's lights, camera, action. When you put him in a courtroom, remember, most betas can fake it if you give them a position of authority. That's why they're like women. They chase degrees because they're hoping the degree will give. They fail to compete against men in the real world, so they go chasing a degree or something like that, hoping that'll give them an unfair advantage. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and I'll be the judge, and all right, now y'all gotta listen to me. Okay, then you get him out of that courtroom, and he's not like that. He's not like that at all.
But that confuses me, Jason, because he seemed like he has some street smarts about him too. He seemed to be an intelligent man, and one of the things,
right up until he gets around some females.
There you go.
Yeah, he seems like that. Yeah, in front of you, he can keep up that facade. Yeah, right up until you get him around some females. Yeah. Then that other side shows itself like, oh, you can't do this outside of your job.
Because women will test.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, you have to do it in his job because that's the only way he makes money. He's got fake confidence because you have a degree. Take him out of that environment, it starts to crack. Put him in front of some females where it doesn't have any value. Now the real thing comes out.
Yes.
His way of relating to them and speaking to them and interacting with them, and you see what occurs. Because on his page and stuff like that, like I say, when he's sitting up here talking about casting and whatnot, I'm like, okay, dude, that doesn't turn out well. You would think with all the examples of black men getting run through the damn ringer, you would think that nobody would be stupid enough to do that. And there he is. I'm like, okay, now it's his turn. And the women are accusing him of all kinds of stuff. Oh, child molestation and cheating and this, that. They're making things up out of the whole cloth. And he's helped contribute to an environment of that.
And he don't have the support of the men. He's isolated himself from the men. What would you say to young men when it comes to dealing with women as far as keeping your social life? If you have guys that you interact with or you do business with, because women will try to isolate you from that if you're foolish enough to go along with it.
The whole point of men becoming complete beings is so that you have the confidence in yourself or what your value is. Okay. When you're a young man and you prove to yourself, hey, I can talk to multiple females. I'm not lucky to be with you. I got options. When you divorce yourself of that misnomer, you're not going to have those problems. When you get one-itis, you sit there and have one female and that becomes your everything, either because you're looking for an easy way out or because you're getting lazy or because you want to reserve your bandwidth for other things. Just understand now you're vulnerable. A young man needs to learn that early so that he's not vulnerable. If he doesn't learn it early, he goes into the world completely vulnerable. Remember, the females learn the damn game by the time they're 19.
It's all over. Yes.
Females have had a decade's worth of sexual experiences just in high school. Fellas who are 29 and 30 years old haven't had as much sexual experience as the chicks they were in sophomore and senior year in high school with.
They don't understand this. These guys don't understand it.
So you're at a severe disadvantage when you're trying to match wits with somebody in that environment. She knows how to push all those buttons. She can see when you don't know as much, you're not as experienced. She can see from your reactions, you don't have the emotional experiences that she's already seen and witnessed. And now you're naive. Well, she used to be naive. Now it's for her, I got to get you before you get me. She's got more experiences. She's not more mature, but she's experienced more things. The sooner you get caught up, the sooner you won't be taken by surprise and you won't be fooled. But the worst thing you can do is be a guy trying to make value for himself and you're coming in the door telling a female what hers is, much less that she's got more than you. She will not be grateful. You're not making her grateful because you admitted and confessed what her value was. You're lowering yourself. A female, by definition, women do not want to be bigger than you. If she sees that she's bigger than you, she's like, well, hell, you're the subordinate.
That's why she's going towards Chris Brown. That's why she's going toward a man who was an alpha socially. That's why they're going toward it. And maybe, and you tell me what you think about this, part of he may not have a strong confidence when it comes to other women because he may have not matured. Like you say, men should have a lot of experiences when they're younger, because he may not have had as many experiences. Now he say, well, maybe they just want me because I'm successful. And he may not know how to interact with women on that level.
Well, successful. Here's the problem when you are deceived and under a misconception about what success is. Your income doesn't make you an alpha.
Talk about it.
So you think because you got gainful employment and you got a good income, relatively speaking, I'm successful. If you're a professional alpha, you're not successful. You just have a good income. You're a sitting duck, and you don't even know it. And females trip over professional alphas every day, but they don't want them because, you're not leading anything. You're incomplete. But professional alphas do make good orbiters because he gonna be there. He doesn't understand. Females aren't really attracted to him. They don't really desire him. And they're certainly not passionate about him. So women know that the odds are very good. She can't guarantee it, but the odds are very good. He going to be sitting there. There is no urgency for me to engage him because he going to be sitting there. So I can sit up here and get ran through by Tyrone and everybody else. This Greg going to be here when I get back. And sure enough, usually they are. And he'll be ready. Everything these other guys wouldn't do, he'll be ready to do it. So if I never get them to commit, okay, break glass in case of emergency. All right, get your little sorry ass over here. I'm tired of paying bills. And what you end up with is a chick who's got, at best, tempered contempt, and at worst, open hostility towards you. Because you are not what she actually wants. Emotionally, you don't do anything for her. She gets excited about the places you take her and the people that she meets, not because she's standing next to the man. Not because of that. And ultimately, that's what she wants. Now, maybe you can go find some little simple country girl somewhere, and that might be a possibility for you. But other than that, especially you cats who come from big cities and stuff, that ain't gonna fly. She wants to be next to the man.
Yes.
When women tell you I can pay my own bills, what she means is your income is not high enough to thrill her. That's what she means.
Yes.
So in other words, okay, the 6 figures might not get it, might have to be 7. Even if she's never been from that environment, even if she wasn't raised with that, even if she's not worth it, that's what she tells herself. That's why your intrinsic value has to be high enough that when you do let her know what her value is, she accepts it. She's not arguing with you. But why would she listen to a guy who's already confessed to her that she's more valuable than he is? Her family is better than his is. He's just lucky to be here. And now he's going to spend the next 4 decades trying to prove himself to you. He proved himself to you when he didn't end up with the rest of them niggas. That's when he proved himself. He's done proving himself. That would have been the way I would have approached it. 4 decades later, he's still trying to prove himself to her and her family. That he's worthy. And remember something, somebody said this to me years ago, if you see a bum at an intersection and you give them money, you might feel sorry for them, but you don't want to take them home and have a relationship.
No.
So you don't want a female having sympathy for you. You want her to have respect and esteem, not sympathy. And right now, he's making it even worse. She's sitting there in his damn house, done served him divorce papers, and he's talking about, we can do this, that, and the other. I'm like, this don't make no sense.
He's on a totally different plane. Now, Jason, do you think her exposure to all these big time successful celebrities like Samuel Jackson, Michael Jordan, do you think that had an impact on her accelerating or impacted the way she's moving right now with the divorce?
Yeah, I mean, she tells herself that those are her friends.
Oh.
There's the problem with making it seem like if it wasn't without her, you couldn't do this. She's not saying that I know these people because of him. She's telling herself, those are my friends. I'm friends with Samuel L. Jackson and his wife and Magic Johnson and Cookie and Michael Jordan and Smokey Robinson. She's telling herself, those are my friends.
I wouldn't have recognized her on the street, walking down the street, Jason.
Okay, but this is what she's telling herself.
Oh.
Because she wants to believe that she is a star in equal standing with her husband. And you and I both know that's nonsense. Yes. But, bruh, you've been letting her believe it. Probably been telling her it's true. And instead of making it very clear, whoa, those are my contacts. That's because of me. Instead, they're my friends. Okay. Familiarity breeds contempt.
Every day.
Familiarity breeds contempt. So that's where he's at. That's why I've always told fellas here, you got to be careful. You have a female who starts competing with you or competing against you. She wants to make her own mark or whatever. If she hadn't done that by the time she met you, you have a problem. If she's married you and she's still chasing degrees, still chasing titles, still chasing honorifics, look it up, still chasing admiration, still chasing popularity and acknowledgement, you have a problem. That's not going to go away. And the more, quote, successful you become, the more resentful she'll become. Because it'll be very clear that you're outstripping her and outrunning her by leaps and bounds. And the more you do that, the more it'll remind her how far behind you she is.
He's competing. A woman's competing with a man.
When you have a female who wants to be a star, you're known, she's not, and she wants to believe that. The more successful you are, she doesn't see that as a positive, she sees it as a negative. Because she sees it as imperative to bring you back down to earth. She doesn't have anything else. Her accomplishments haven't done it. There's nothing she's done that's matched you. Brother, you got an enemy sleeping in the bed with you. The only thing she can do now is tear you down. Because every time when you walk in the room and folks walk past her to shake hands with you, to dap you, to give you the brother man hug, understand she's been watching that happen now for 4 decades. They go to the airport, people are saying, hey, Judge Mathis. Ain't nobody saying her name. They don't know who she is. Males, females, you name it. That's what's happening in her daily life. And she's tried to tell herself how great and wonderful and educated and valuable she is. And every time she's next to you, reality keeps smashing her in the face. Eventually, she's going to get tired of the world not giving her what she wants. And the only thing she can do now is lash out at you.
Jason, how can you get how can a young man test for a Camille Cosby, somebody like that? Because she's been with all these years, and even when he went through all this, she didn't turn against her husband. I respect her for that. You know, what do you think it is? Is it just the nature? Because I feel like women, this has always been an issue with women for years.
Men are going to have to make a decision. As a man, you're going to have to make a decision. Right. We like females who are glamorous because when a man is, quote, successful, he feels like he should have a female who looks like a Bentley. The issue with that is that if the female comes to you that way, then just understand she's already got a perspective about what her value is supposed to be. Now she's going to see it as you're just the guy who's supposed to fulfill those expectations.
Okay.
Men, especially as men get Russell Wilson syndrome. They want a little glamorous chick, even if she obviously has red flags on her. Wow. When you get in your mind, this is what you're supposed to have. Cute face, slim waist. This is what I'm supposed to have here. Okay, you've been chasing that all this time. And when you get in your head that you're hell bent for leather, that's what it's going to be. Now you're vulnerable. Okay. As opposed to taking a female who doesn't have those kinds of ambitions. No, she's not as glamorous. No, she is not as ambitious. Okay. No, she's never going to be mistaken for an Instagram booty model. She'll never be mistaken for that. As opposed to, I don't advise fellas to play Build-A-Bay. I will say for a man, though, that works better it works easier for a man than it does for a female. If she has all the personality traits in place and stuff like that, you can give her a makeover.
Yes, you can.
That'll work. A female who's already got the look and things, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing with that except pay for it. So you'd be better off finding a simple chick who is coachable, number one.
Okay.
Because you want to know about Camille Cosby? He met her young. Okay, but was she young and coachable? Fellas are out here meeting chicks who are young, they're cute, yeah, but she's not coachable. You're not making an impression on her. She does not look up to you. Camille was looking up to Dr. William H. Cosby.
She was.
Y'all are getting females who she get nice ass on her and this, that, and the other, but she doesn't look up to you. And you don't care that she doesn't. Long as I got sexual access, we'll call that admiration. Okay.
What are some of the things that you do to see if a woman's coachable in conversation when you're talking to them? Is it the fact that they talk over you, or they always have a comeback, or they think they know more than you, they're not listeners? What kind of things that you look at?
No, there are two things that show that the female is coachable. Number one, she asks you questions. Number two, you can see that she's followed up with it when you were not around. Did you see how quickly that rolled off when I said that?
God dog, Jason.
Now, did you see just how quickly and readily I responded with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
I want y'all to keep that in mind. How does he know that? If she is asking you questions, that means she respects your intelligence. She is openly confirming that you know more than her, and she's interested in knowing. Now, when you come back and talk to her next time, and she's the one initiating conversation with you, by the way, you come back and talk to her next time. Oh, I saw this on YouTube. I read this over here and the other. I saw that there. She's followed up on that. She respects you. She respects what you know. And she respects it so much that she's following up on it. She wants to be the female version of you. She wants to become like you. That's your impression being made. That's the impression. You know that it's taking, because when she was not around you, she followed up on it. That means she's not following up on it because she's interested in the subject matter. She's following up on it because she's interested in you, and she knows that learning more about this will get her closer to you. This is how she beats out her female competition, is by knowing more about your life. Most men don't give it they either don't give it any mind, or they have very simplistic things. It's nice if a female knows about a car, but fellas, a chick who's interested in your Dodge Charger, that's not it. That's not it. She's available for sex. They're all available for sex.
All of them.
If you still think that's a win or that's some major accomplishment, you are out to lunch. The real thing is whether or not she's making alterations and becoming more like you. Is she changing the dress? When you mentioned about this kind of handbag, these kind of clothes, is she followed up on that? If you bought her a certain type of outfit, did she go back to the store to go get something similar? Those are things to check on. Take a look at what's been in her closet, and then go take a look at other things and see if it's similar. That you've given a new style, and now she's following up on that. If she is, she's becoming more like you. She's becoming more in touch with your tastes, which means she sees herself as your woman. She's not trying to replicate something she saw with someone else or something she experienced with someone else. She's taking the new way. She's letting the new way take root, and she's going with it. That's how you know. Her taste in cars, that's one thing I tell you. If a female is demanding to drive your damn car, she's never driven them. Like, you know me, I'm all about full-size SUVs. And sometimes it's crazy when females try to drive an Escalade, but by the way, if she demands to drive that damn thing, that the programming is taking. She admires you. She admires that. She wants to be a part of that life. She's not just having sex with you. She's not just sleeping with you. Take a look at the other 23 hours of the day. Is that starting to get ingrained in her too? Or is that something that she's keeping at arm's length? And then did you look up one day and realize, by the way, there isn't really anything about what I do in my life that she really gravitates to. The only thing I really do is pay for things.
And she smiles when like a good lapdog when she smiles. Oh, you did that. That's so sweet.
Yeah, the more you pay, the more she smiles. And that's what gets 90% of men. 9% of men get took in because it's like Pavlov's dog. She doesn't smile unless you buy her something. And women know they're doing that too, by the way. Women know they're doing that. Don't smile unless he buys you something. He buys you something. Oh, baby, she gets all emotional. Now you're chasing that emotional reaction. It's like, damn, I don't get any of that. She's supposed to respond like that simply because of you, not because of what you get. So getting taken in, most men do. They don't understand what it looks like. They're scared to death to test it because they're scared that they're always in a sexual drought. They're sexual scavengers. She's the last female he's going to have access to. So all of his energies get concentrated on, quote, keeping her happy, as opposed to him being in a happy relationship.
Yes.
I'll let you have the last word.
Jason, what's the most important, young men, the lawyer and different people, young men and older guys, it's okay if when you're doing something and you doing your manhood thing and a woman gives pushback. That's okay. You need to know what you're dealing with. That's okay. Don't be afraid of getting pushback from a woman. If she's not following your program, she can find another one. And don't never limit your options when it comes to women. Even if you're in a monogamous relationship, she needs to know that you can get somebody else. You understand?
And it needs to always be apparent, because here's the real thing about it. Magic Cookie has always known Magic Johnson can trade her in for another woman or a bunch of dudes. What? Samuel L. Jackson, his wife know he can even at his age, he can get it now. This is, baby, if he's alone tonight, it's because he wants to be. Michael Jordan, need we say more? Smokey Robinson, need I say more? Sugar Ray Leonard. These men, any woman with them know, baby, look here. If I'm alone tonight, you can bounce whenever you want to. If I'm alone tonight, it's because I want to be. It's not because you ain't here. Greg Mathis is the only one that we all know. By the way, she packed up tonight. He by himself. That's it.
Just one last thing, man. You called it. Darlene, I was listening to Darlene Ortiz when I was watching Corey Holcomb, and she keeps talking about, well, he said, well, you ain't got your life together now when it comes to men. He's talking about women and not being in line with men and how they mess up their lives. Well, I had an experience for 17 years. She still talking, and that memory is enough for me, something like that. What you talking about women living off memories of when she was with Ice Cube?
Because that was the pinnacle of her life. She is never going to get over that. You and I have been watching it now for over 30 years. There ain't nothing another man can do with her. There's no reason for another man to ever get with Darlene Ortiz. What you gonna do with that? What are you going to do? She became an international icon, international sex symbol. That made her name for herself. She was in a relationship that in the culture of rap and hip hop is iconic even of itself. How do you follow up on that? Who are you going to get who is going to give her a similar experience, much less a better one? She gave her best years, which you can't go back to. How are you going to follow up on? You'd be a damn fool. You would be an idiot trying to follow up behind that. Just like Tina Knowles. You can't follow Matthew Knowles with the daughter's name, the mama that married you and kept the damn name. You can't do nothing with that. That is it. Ice-T was the living end. That was it. Ice-T was the living end. She's had 3 decades to prove she could do better. She's had 3 decades to find his replacement. And the bottom line is, when people talk to her, they make it clear what they remember. Their life stopped right there. Her name stopped right there. She can go to all the yoga classes she wants to. As far as her ability to present herself to the world, as far as that's concerned, it stopped with him. So that's why she keeps bringing up, because, yeah, that's where it stopped. That was the pinnacle and the height of her value. It stopped there. And the only reason that she's single today is because he wouldn't have her back. If he wanted it, he could have her back tonight. If he wanted it. But what she's demonstrating is, by the way, when you show that kind of value and it's concrete, and then T showed he wasn't finished building, he wasn't finished making it pop, he wasn't through, he wasn't washed up, he's still out here grinding, he's still out here getting it. Once he showed he could do that, that was it. You don't have anything else to bargain with. That, by the way, is what it means to make an impression. And you don't have to be a rap icon to do that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me go ahead and take Zoom down there. Let me see. I got Marcus on Zoom. All right, let me go ahead and see if I can bring Marcus up here on Zoom. Hopefully they don't have their Zimbabwe broadband going. Okay, Marcus' Zoom is moving a little bit slowly there. By the way, I wanted to put a post about that. I wanted to put a post on Facebook dealing with that kind of thing right there. That if a woman wants to insist on monogamy from a successful peak value man, you can't just be willing to do everything. You have to be everything. If you can't be everything, stop asking for monogamy. I mean, from a basic dude, Joe Lunchpail, you can get monogamy. You can get monogamy from Joe Lunchpail, and you can be half of what he wants and needs. You can do that. Other than that, it doesn't work. Okay, Marcus, you have 5 seconds to turn your camera on for me here, or permanent vacation. So if you're on Zoom, you need to make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on. I won't put you up in front of everybody else there, but just to make sure we have no trolling issues, need to make sure we have our camera turned on. If Marcus does not turn the camera on in the next 2 seconds, permanent vacation for Marcus. Okay, Marcus will not be joining us for the rest of his life. Ladies, just a brief reminder. If you want to insist on monogamy from a peak value man, the basic dude, Mr. $50,000 a year, Mr. Struggling, you can get monogamy from him, and you can be half, maybe even a third of everything that he's wanted and needed. You can do that. Yeah, you want them fellas in the top 10%, you have to do everything and be everything he wants. Or don't expect monogamy. I mean, you can say, okay, I want to do less than that. Okay, just don't expect monogamous relationship. Don't expect that. Men don't become successful so they can have limited options. They become successful so they can have unlimited sexual options. But every woman knows this. Okay, well, hey, if you don't want that, then go find the little basic dude, the little sad sack. See if you can go ahead and do that. See if you can do that. Go get the little basic dude, and he'll give you monogamy. You can give him 50%, and he'll give you monogamy. You can have that. Try to drown out the giggles. See if you can do that. Try to drown out the giggles. From all the people giggling and laughing, try to drown that out if you can. See if you can. If you're able to drown those out, that might work. That's where Judge Mathis' wife is going to end up at. Oh, Jason, why are you saying that? It's not because Judge Mathis is so great and so wonderful. It's because she's grossly overvalued herself. Remember everyone I called about Jeff Bezos' wife, Mackenzie Bezos? What's the first thing she did? She got the money and she's been throwing it away left, right, and center. She's probably going to die broke. Nicole Murphy divorced Eddie. What happened to the money? Where are the men? Giselle Bundchen, who's she with? Jennifer Lopez. Her life is turned into a laugh track. Yeah, I mean, they can leave. I mean, they can do that, but get ready for the giggling. Get ready for the laughing and get ready for the giggling. If you've always spent your life around a basic dude, well, it's easy to leave a basic dude. A fella who's built and got a name, oh, it's going to be hell. You're just Miss Has-Been now. You're just Miss Has-Been. Sitting up here thinking getting your AARP card and there's something else out there. What the hell does she think is out here in these streets? I'll tell you. You took her too many places, showed her too many things. She's hung out with too many other celebrities, and she's told herself, I could be they woman. I think I've been to all the parties. Why couldn't I be? And now she's got contempt for you. Whatever happened to Nicole Young? Damn! Whatever happened to her, Dr. Dre's ex-wife? By the way, how's she hanging? Mackenzie Bezos divorced Jeff Bezos, the next dude she married. People started making memes and jokes about it right out the gate. Hell of a spot for you to be in. Hell of a spot to be in. Jennifer Lopez, same thing. Nicole Murphy, oh man, that heifer was running around trying to mug niggas. Damn! Oh, if you were a single man and looked like you was halfway in the entertainment business, she was trying to mug him. She said, Layla Rashawn can't hit the treadmill like me. If I can get Antoine Fuqua behind this building over here. I'm talking about shameless. She said, if I can get Antoine off by himself, that's it. She told Layla, this is your husband if you can keep him. He is your husband if you can hold him. It's treacherous. So yeah, if you got Joe Lunch Pail, you might be all right, but a nigga that makes an impression, oh man, that's going to be tough. That is going to be tough. To be with somebody who makes an impression, that's going to be hard, man. That's going to be hard. She's not going to believe it until she tries to show up for the next party, till she tries to show up for the next event, and she either can't get in or they do let her in and everybody's like really not mingling with her and socializing with her. Remember, Dr. Dre went to the damn Super Bowl after he got divorced. Remember? Dre went to the Super Bowl after he got divorced, man. He done kept it pushing. Tyrese kept making albums and keep making movies after he got divorced. His wife is still trying to get a damn TikTok career going off of his name.
Auntie, chill.
Samantha Lee is to this day trying to make some money on TikTok off of Tyrese's name. But there's nobody asking for her. She can't show up at any of the parties, any of the events, any of the functions. She can't show up nowhere and do that. Hey, at least when Tyrese cry, niggas pay for it.
And deal with it, nigga.
Folks can say whatever they want to. Tyrese gets paid to cry. Tyrese have hoes throwing their panties when he starts boo-hooing. Let's just keep that a stack. When Tyrese start crying, hoes start crying with him. Baby, you need somebody. Bring me some tissue, damn it. Never mind, I go drive and get you some. Tyrese start boo-hooing and hoes start pandering. Don't never be mistaken. Let's just keep that real. He's like, let me write a song. He started welling out them notes. Okay, don't never get it twisted. Samantha Lee could be laid out in the middle of the damn freeway, squealing. Niggas would just drive around her. So folks can clown Tyrese about that if they want to, but by the way, it's okay. Okay, he keeps something bad on deck. Tyrese keeps something bad on deck. All right. That crime must be working somewhere. He keeps something bad on deck. I'm just saying. Meanwhile, over there with Samantha, Nicole Young, Nicole Murphy, Mackenzie Bezos, Giselle Bundchen, and all the others. Jennifer Lopez, last train done left. Last train done left. You can go to yoga class and Pilates class and whatever. Jennifer Lopez better hope that Sylvester Stallone wants to get married one more time. Damn! Yeah, Jennifer Lopez. You might want to see if Sylvester Stallone is ready to go down the aisle one more time. You might be able to catch him. You might be able to catch Stallone. Stallone or Schwarzenegger, okay, they're about 70, 80 years old now. You might be able to catch one of them on their way down the aisle. You might get that one. I'm just saying, y'all know it's true. Judge Mathis, boy, I'm telling you, Judge Mathis is going to be a rough ride in this regard. It's going to be a rough ride. He put all of his chips on the wrong horse, and now he's just hoping this baby, please, baby, please. But bruh, where's your negotiating? Where's your bargaining leverage? She's got access to your money without you. She doesn't need you anymore. Where's your leverage? It's a cautionary tale. But I think it's one for folks to keep in mind. Hate to see him go out like that, but maybe the rest of you can take a look at his experience and learn from it. Yes, Judge Mathis is in the discount bin. Remember what I said, when you lose competence, he magnified her over him. His career is like, we ain't making the competitive money like we were before. He's talking her up and she's not talking him up there. He's getting older now. What's he supposed to do? Kick it into gear? He's at the airports and stuff. Bro, it ain't about that. It's not about that. I talked about if you were a young man and you never got things into gear, or if you're an old man trying to rely on your money, but your competitiveness in the other areas besides money is gone. So I don't wish him ill. Maybe they'll get that put back together. I'm not saying I hope they don't. I don't ever wish that on people. But there's a lesson to be learned in here tonight. All that down talking he was doing and whatnot like that, there's a lesson to be learned. One more thing for y'all to remember here. It's not that I'm just a cynical person. It isn't. It is not that I'm a cynical person. I got to go here and I got to do this one time. Judge Mathis, I got to do this to you one time. I got to do it to you one time. Gotta do it to you one time. Folks, don't let these people fool you with this perfect marriage stuff. Lie. Y'all don't let people fool you with that. Anybody out here with an Instagram account, they keep trying to fool people into thinking they got the perfect this and the perfect that and everything's great and everything's fine. Man, and that's why that attorney, James Sexton, he said that's the way it is with everybody, every couple that walks into my office. He said everybody has got their highlight reel on Instagram. They've all got the perfect marriage on Instagram right up until the day they walk into my office and file the papers. They're posting, I love you, and we went on this trip and this vacation and this birthday, this anniversary. Everybody does that right up until the day they walk into his office and file for divorce. I want y'all to not be gullible and stupid and silly and fall for that because everybody wants to be a celebrity and everybody wants to have some presentation and try to project to you that they got the perfect situation. Meanwhile, the damn divorce rate is out this damn world. Everyone's trying to act like they got the perfect car and the perfect shoes and the perfect purse. And I got the perfect dude or the perfect woman. We got the perfect relationship and whatnot. And then the very next damn week we getting divorced. I would like for you to decouple yourself from that misnomer. Because it's a lie. It's a lie. They got issues just like you, in some cases worse than yours. Take a look at his son. They got issues. They got problems. They got all that stuff going on there too. Most of them ain't figured it out. Most of them haven't. So don't start telling yourself, for the men in particular, to the women, but for the men in particular, don't sit up here and don't let social media fool you. Don't let social media fool you. Do you know how many married chicks I got in my inbox who a few months after they were in my inbox, I saw them talking about they was getting married?
Nigga, please.
And I'm just me. I'm not even some really famous dude like that. Y'all don't want me to let you know what I really know. I'm gonna let me go ahead and just stop myself because I'll start talking a little bit and say too much. Folks, that's the real damn world. You take a look at what Chris Brown is doing. Chris Brown is breaking broads every damn week. Chris Brown is breaking broads every damn week. And he's not offering nobody's commitment. Chris Brown got married women and women fiancés. He got them sitting up here doing tricks and he's not offering anything to them. They got to pay him. He's offering them nothing. Nothing. I be looking at my timeline and I'm like, I'll be damned. Wasn't you showing the most? And then next thing you know, oh, I'm getting married. I'm like, okay, bruh. She's all yours.
And deal with it, nigga.
I be looking at him on the timeline like, okay, bro, she's all yours. She's all yours. See him sitting in the car like side by side like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. You see him sitting there side by side with each other like that. I warned you about that. I did that for a reason. This right here, this is the I married a simp pose if you ever saw it. She thinks she's stunting on other females. And it's supposed to make you think that you just the living end and you're the one. It's like, dude, she's showing you off like a trophy because she's trying to prove something. Don't fall for this. They put on their little beekeeper sunglasses and smiling. Dude, this is supposed to be her proving. See, they said I wouldn't make it. Okay. Do you know how many times I've seen this picture? Do you all know how many times I've seen the picture that's on your screen right now? Do you know how many dudes I've seen it on the timelines with? Do you know how many? And all, A-L-L, all, 100%, all of them are living a lie. But let's just keep it real. They want to believe that. They want to live that, and they want to believe that. Most fellas today, the reason that we can't keep the females straight is because there's too many fellas out here who are willing to give up their little old life savings and their pension and this, that, and the other to finally have some reliable sexual access. The real players say no. There's always a sad sack. Why, sure, dear, I'll take care of that for you. He doesn't know how to treat a real woman. Okay. And then when he gets over there, it's like, by the way, yeah, she doesn't really treat me the way, she treats them other dudes. She doesn't really treat me like that, I don't really get that kind of treatment. I thought we were all right and everything, but I don't really get that type of treatment. I couldn't help but notice. Yeah, your woman ain't never gave you the Chris Brown treatment. She ain't never gave that to you. You've never really known what that looked like or what that felt like. And it kind of eats you up. And it will. What happens when you need more years of viability as a man, y'all? Do you think the judge Mathis would have married that woman if he had known this is how the end of that 40 years was going to be? Do you think he married her because he wanted 40 good years? Do you all think that Judge Mathis married her because he wanted 40 good years? Do you think that's what he signed up for, was 40 years? And then a divorce. She thinks she's putting him in the discount bin and she's trying to do it in the most humiliating way possible here. Now he's groveling. Do you all think that she's going to give in to his groveling? Do you think that's going to work? You can tell us later if you think that's going to pay dividends for him. Take this as a lesson. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program. PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you very much here to everyone here in the Super Chat for contributing to tonight's program. Thank you to everyone here who's tuned in live or recorded. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every weekend, 12 noon Central Time. You are welcome to join us. A few of those things, some of those workshops we're talking about there, we're getting ready to start scheduling for that. Some of you, if you haven't checked your emails, if I have written you back, please make sure that you check your email to see if I've written you back. So be looking for that as well. Don't be writing me talking about did I write you back. But if you see it there, you'll be getting more information on that soon. So a lot coming in that regard. Looking forward to it as well. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for watching live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.